Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Players Take, episode 245. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined, as always, by my co-host, Montrell Rice. Montrell, how are you this week?
I am doing okay. It's been a slow week, but I'm here.
Yeah, I'm like recovering still from the, my work experience the last 3 months, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm like I almost feel like I'm, like you know that like almost that guilt you feel when you feel like you're not doing enough sometimes. And it's like, no, I'm fine. It's just you're just used to fucking murdering yourself, and you know.
Yeah, you can blame society for that. Well, American society for
Mm-hmm.
that. Making you feel like
Definitely.
shit when you're not doing shit, even though you probably deserve not to do shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I've been feeling like that all this week too.
Mm-hmm.
I just learned to embrace it, but even when I do embrace it, like it's just like this week has been totally slow for us. Um, a lot of jobs have been getting pushed back and everything like that. And this has actually been the slowest year for us. So um, yeah, I'm just trying to soak it in because I think the next 2 years are gonna pick up for us. So right now I'm just trying to soak it in, and I'm trying to do as much training and get all my certificates and stuff as I can. Take advantage of while time is slow
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to do that, maximize my time. But even still, it's like thought I had to sneeze. Even still,
Yeah.
it's like yeah, just sit back and relax. And I mean, I guess since we both of us have been like going this entire year, this
Mhm.
is normally the time of year when everything slows down. But it
It's
just
true.
seems like it just got here so fast. Because I
Mm-hmm.
can still remember when it was January and we were talking about shit in January. We're
I
talking
know.
about Spider-Man getting released. Now Spider-Man's already gone and passed, and
it's it's done and dusted. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So
Fair enough. Um. Well, yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. It's like that's the thing. It's not like I'm not doing anything, It's like I mean, I'm working and shit. It's just, it's not as crazy as it was. So there are periods of the day where it's a little slow, and I'm just kind of, a little bit bored, maybe here and there. But um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, thinking about it too. Yeah, this year's kind of flown by. You're totally right, man. Like I'm thinking about like, dude, like I've been playing Honkai Star Rail for fucking 6 months. I'm like, that game came out 6 months ago. Like, what the fuck? Like, where does the time go?
beats me, man.
Like, Hogwarts Legacy was 10 months ago,
That
9 months
game seemed
ago.
like it came out last year.
I know, but no, it was February.
That's crazy. I dropped that game so fast.
The Last of Us TV show fucking came out this year, which
That seemed like it came out last year too.
yeah,
They just
right, 100%. No, Fire Emblem Engage was this year too.
that seemed like it came out last year
That's
because I
crazy,
remember
man.
playing that for hours.
And then
Uh,
God of War Ragnarok came out last year at this around this time.
which is
That doesn't
funny because it seemed like it came out this year.
sooner. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
uh,
100%.
they just started pre-production of Last of Us, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
part season 2. So we're not getting that shit until
Yeah, they said like 2025, dude.
yeah.
So good luck on that one. For sure. That's one thing about TV shows. Dude, do you remember the times when we would get a show every year, like a season of a show every year? That feels like so long ago.
Yeah, but you remember we didn't have to. They didn't have all these super special effects teams and fucking companies behind it and all this shit like that. Like our standards for TV shows have risen, so I
Yeah.
understand why it takes so long now. Contracts are crazy now for actors and for studios and everything. So yeah, you're right. I do remember like when we used to get a season. You know, every year we used to get a new season, but now and then if had to wait 2 years, oh man, that one season when it finally did come out was like super special.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just like um I don't know, each episode is almost a mini movie for some series now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I was like, it was Game of Thrones, man. That was the first one that really like did that, where it had like a 2 year gap between seasons. Like that was late in its run.
mm,
I think that was happened with season. I think it happened with season 7 and 8. I want to say,
definitely
but
season 8.
Yeah, for sure, season 8. But which was funny because it was like 6 episodes. You know, it was like fucking. It was weird, but yeah, now it's like every other show, every fucking show does that shit now. Like Stranger Things has never had two, like their seasons have always had a year, at least a year gap between them. And even shows on like more normal networks, you know, like they're not even coming out every year anymore. So I don't know, it
Uh,
kind of sucks. Like you know, as much as like I agree with what you're saying about the production value, at the same time, I don't think that I feel like there's diminishing returns on the time investment, you know. I don't think the shows are really they're not really better than they used to be, you know.
well, one thing I don't like, which I hate that we're going back towards, it's a catch-22, I guess, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I don't like when I'm waiting for something. Like Invincible's coming out today at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock. It'll be out today,
Yeah.
but they already confirmed they're showing 3 to 4 episodes, not like off a rip, but like over the next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
They're gonna release like an episode a week, and then they're going to mid-season break, and then they're gonna release some more episodes. And it's like, bro, this is not TV.
Yeah,
Like
the part
you're,
1, part 2 shit. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
like
it's gotten
you're
so
not.
annoying.
Well, I don't like them releasing episodes weekly. Like you're not a
Oh,
TV
me
show.
either. Me either.
You're
I mean
not a
that
station.
dude.
You're not a TV station. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have a set schedule. You're a streaming service. And it's like now streaming services have become TV cable with like a really good a cloud-based DVR now. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like
Mm.
I don't really see it's just going back in time now. Like why
Well,
I
they're
might as well just
also
get cable.
becoming so expensive that it's almost becoming better to just have cable again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird, dude. We're going backwards. We are.
Yeah, so and like the catch-22 comes within the place where my friend was telling me like, well, I love the anticipation of the show when it's really good. I gotta wait a week to see what's going
They're
on.
rationalizing, bro. Sorry. You guys
I
are
mean, I like
crazy.
that
Like
too. I like that too, but
I do
at the
not.
same
Bro,
at the
there
same
is
time, I just want to get this shit over with.
I'm
You
not
know,
watching a single episode of Invincible until the whole season's out. They can go
I'm the
fuck.
same
They
way.
can go fuck themselves. I have no interest. I'm not playing that game. I don't do that shit anymore. I don't watch shows weekly, okay? The only exception for me like recently that I can think of is anime. And that is even that has been extremely rare. And it's to the point that like you know, Attack on Titan season 4 has drug itself out so fucking long at this point. There's like 3 parts, and then there's 3 parts to the third part, you know, of the final season, and it's like they've drug it out so long that I haven't watched since the first part was released, you know.
I
And
haven't
I
either, and
I
apparently
don't
it's
care
like
until it's done. I'm not touching it again. I'm not
apparently
doing it.
like the last episode is coming out in the last couple of days though. I think they're on the last
Is that
episode
true?
now.
Okay.
I
I,
think
I
I'm
don't
not
know,
sure.
man. I don't know. Season 4, part 3, part 1, part 2, and part 3 is, you know, it's like I don't even know anymore. The fucking marketing on it has been so weird. The way they name the shit and split it up, and like, dude, they turned the final battle into three separate releases. You know, it's like, oh my god,
Yeah,
bro.
so
So
so now that
yeah,
I supported the writer's strike, I love them and I'm glad that they got their shit. But can we start getting episodes or like seasons every year now? COVID's
yeah,
over. Like
yeah.
there's no excuse anymore. COVID's over, guys. I'm sorry. Like I need my episodes in my seasons yearly now. Like if you're not gonna do it yearly, I would rather you do maybe some kind of spin-off shit where
Hmm.
it can satisfy me until the next season. Like the boys is doing like Gen V, right? So like you have Gen V and the other boys that kind of like alternating. So I'm still waiting for the boys. I didn't even watch I think it's called Generation 5 or Gen 5. Like I didn't even watch that yet.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a spinoff of the boys and apparently it's really good. But
Okay.
yeah, like I don't know. I just want some good shit. And I went through the whole summer, like this burning, grueling summer, and I don't even have good shows in the fall to watch. Like
Yeah.
that was the best. Like people ask me why I love fall. It's because not only because of the weather is really good, but the fucking TV shows is good. Football is back on. You got like 3 sports running concurrently. You got baseball, football, and fucking basketball going.
And hockey.
and hockey. Yeah, you got all 4 sports going. Then baseball ends, and then you have the other 3 sports going. So it's like it's just a really good time for
Yeah.
couch watching and stuff. Like
Then
it's
you've
really
got like
good.
shitty seasons of like the Flash going and Arrow, and I'm like almost nostalgic for that time though a little bit. It's like as much as those shows weren't great, at least they were on and they came on consistently.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the issue I'm having now, is these shows are taking 2 years to release a season, and then yeah, they're released fucking weekly, and then they're not, it's not even necessarily 2 years, it might be 2 years and 3 months. It's like there's no schedule to it, it's just they're coming out when they're ready. And I just because yeah, Game of Thrones was the first show I remember really taking the 2 years between a season, like actually taking a full 2 years between the seasons. And then COVID happened and it just threw everything off, and these shows just like basically literally every fucking show was had a huge delays between seasons. But now this just feels like the norm. Like this is just what we're doing now. It's just gonna take 2 years between every season of a TV show. It's like what do you mean? It's like you shoot for a month. It's like it's not like this isn't making a video game, like it's not that complicated. Like you shoot the shots, you get the scenes, and you fucking stitch them together, and then you put the CGI in. I mean, that's the part that probably is taking forever, is the CGI on
Yeah.
some of these shows, and obviously editing matters and everything, and getting everything together. But dude, 2 years, 2 years.
Well, this is
I
this is
don't
where
believe for a second that they're working on these shows like 100% of that time frame. There's no way.
well, this is where, and this is where I blame, like, this is a combination of perfect storm of things. Obviously, COVID, right? And then you have special effects, and like you said, in post production, that's where the bulk of the time is going into. Um, but I feel like even in pre production and in production, you have practical effects that are being slowly incorporated back into a lot of these TV shows now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like that's a lost art. So there aren't too many practical effects artists anymore. But now that's like in huge demand, from what I'm hearing and stuff like that. So it's like now, like if y'all had gotten rid of it in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
then we would have a steady pipeline of practical effects and special effects and visual effects that kind of cohesively run together. Because like I think as much as it's trash, I think like the Force Awakens and like uh even though the Mandalorian is not trash, the
Yeah.
Mandalorian are good shows that show that you can have really good practical effects blend in with the special effects of of modern day movies. And I personally like it, but if you look and they're like, oh well, guys, we want to keep the quality and the special, the practical effects up to standards of the first seasons, and it's like, yeah, but you guys need to also hire like project managers or whoever to like make sure this shit flows correctly so that you can get it released on time. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's like you said, it's not like it's making a video game, and I understand like a lot of these actors are doing like multiple projects at once, but that's why you get other actors. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't need to see. And that's another thing I don't like. Right? I don't need to see the same actor on like 5 different projects. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like I understand they're good actors, but get other actors too, actors and actresses rather, on other projects. 'Cause I'm sure there are plenty of good great undiscovered talent out there. But the simple fact that people just keep gravitating towards Hollywood keeps doing this same shit where it's like we're gonna keep getting the guy who plays the Mandalorian. I can't remember his name, unfortunately. We're gonna keep getting the guy who plays
No, it's
Mandalorian.
it's the dude who played Joel.
Yeah, he plays Joel. He's also in fucking
Game of
Game of
Thrones.
Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I love the guy. He's a very good actor, but it's like,
Pedro Pascal.
yeah, Pedro Pascal. Yep. He's a great actor, but like get other people to do other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't need a Pedro Pascal in
Well, we're gonna
everything.
talk about this in video games too with voice actors later when I talk about Spider-Man 2. So,
Okay. Yeah, well, yeah,
yeah.
I'm done with my rants. We can get into the shits.
All right, yeah. Let's get into the video game. So, for those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, in your favorite podcast app of choice. And if you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter at The Players Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. All right, Montrell. Let's get into it. Let's start with what we've been playing. Neither of us have a ton on our list, so what do you want to talk about first? You want to go into talk about League or
I mean, I just been playing it. It's all right.
Are you solo queuing? You're not solo queuing.
Norms, I am.
Okay.
I am only because I'm going to practice support. That's it.
Montrell's working his way to ranked, guys. He's gonna.
I'm
back.
not. I actually did do I did 5 ranked games yesterday, but I was not. I only
you're such
did
an
it.
Addict.
No, listen. I only did it because one of my old friends was like, "Hey, I went to LA with them and everything, and we actually met through like League and Twitter and stuff like that, and we went to an anime convention with each other with Dennison as well." But he hit me up and was like, "Hey, you want to play League?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he put us in the rank queue, so I was like, "Hey, bro, I'm not,
I'm clean. I'm clean, bro. I'm clean."
Yeah. And he was like, "Well, let's just do ranked or whatever. That's what I'm doing." So, I mean, I was doing pretty good support in ranked. We won 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5 games we won. So, I mean, it's all right. I mean, but
so
I'm not.
You're in like
I'm
diamond.
No, I'm still like silver 3 or something like that. But I'm not jumping back into ranked. Like, I'm only gonna do it if he wants to do it. Like, I'm not gonna. I'm not doing it by myself anymore. I don't even know how I did it before.
Yeah, if we played more, I'd think about it. But
yeah,
I've been playing. I basically played once a week the last 2 weeks, and that's been fine.
Yeah,
I'm not looking to hardcore dive back into this right now. I'm kind of waiting until the next season starts.
Yeah, I only played this week. Actually, I only played yesterday. Yesterday and the day before yesterday. No, yesterday, because that's when the Rangers won. So yeah, yesterday I played. So that was it. I didn't really play anything else.
I mean, I will say playing the game, like I do think the meta is in a good spot right now. Like I felt like it was fair, like which is not something. Yeah, I'm not used to saying that on this show about a online multiplayer game. But no, I felt like the losses we had were fair and the wins we had were fair, equally fair. And I don't feel like there was a whole lot of bullshit. Like, there were games where I had bad starts and I was able to recover, and there were games where I had a good start and ended up kind of dominating the game at times, and that felt good. I guess, like, you were like, I feel like I'm rewarded for good play, like good farm play. But I also felt like I wasn't punished so hard for having a bad start that I wasn't even part of the game anymore,
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know, it feels pretty good. Like, and I think the champions are actually pretty in a pretty good spot for, at least for ADCs. The items are the weirdest part, I would say, right now, especially for ADCs. There's just a lot of mixing and matching items right now for that role with certain characters that I find interesting, to say the least. But it's not really a problem. Like, I just like, I feel like the item builds are pretty effective when you get them online. It's but the characters aren't like OP. I don't really think like, and nobody I was playing felt like uber strong, where it was just like ridiculous, where I'm just steamrolling people.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I mean, there are some OP. I think Nocturne's like broken right now, but like,
yeah,
it's not like it's broken to where like they have to fucking delete the champion. No, it's like they just tune some numbers here and there.
Nah, bro, that game I played, like, there was a game where we had a Nocturne on the enemy team. The enemy team was very melee heavy, so I picked Nyla as an ADC. And like, I don't counter Nocturne necessarily, but I can go toe to toe with him in a fight. So
yeah,
it wasn't a big issue in that game. So it worked as a pseudo counter pick.
They're actually nerfing Nyla.
I saw that, bro. I was like, the fuck, man? I was like, God damn it. You're like, nobody plays her. And I'm like, I do. I'm like the only, I mean, you're right. Like, I never see anybody play that character, but
Well, you know, it's funny.
um
My friend yesterday, he was like, I was like, well, I thought he used to play ADC. He was playing top, but he's like, yeah, man. When I do play ADC now, I pick Nyla, bro. She's so broken right now. I'm like, wow, you sound like my other friend.
no, she is really strong. I mean, I do think the nerfs are somewhat warranted. What they're nerfing to isn't really that bad. Like, I don't think it's gonna destroy her, you know.
Yeah, it's going to tone her down a little bit, but it's
Yeah,
not. She's still going to be a late game monster like she usually
yeah,
is.
yeah.
So
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, league's in a good spot. I'm definitely down to play this weekend somewhat, for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the mythics dissolving though.
yeah,
For sure.
I can't wait for that shit to happen, man. That's going to be
Yeah,
so good.
I don't want to have to tailor my entire build around one item. you know,
Yeah.
I don't know why they thought that was a good idea.
They were trying to make it more user friendly for people who are coming into League. And I think they realized how bad it was when people did start coming into League and be like, this is not how it is in other MOBAs. Like they were grabbing other players from other MOBAs, like people who come from Smite or maybe even Dota, and they're like, "This is not a thing. Why is this a thing here?" And it's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
it's stupid. It was stupid. It's not. I understand the premise behind the design, but I want to say it's dumb design. It's just it didn't make it made sense on
I don't
paper, I
think it makes
guess.
sense in League. I think
Yeah,
that's the reality. It's a good idea in a MOBA, maybe, but not this one. You know?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I'm glad they saw that it was kind of crazy and they're reverting a lot of stuff. So yeah, I can't wait till next season as well.
all right, fair enough. Are you playing anything else besides Spider-Man 2?
I'm actually not even playing Spider-Man 2. I decided to drop it. Um,
Wait, did you not get the plat?
no, man, I just don't feel like playing the game.
Oh my god, bro.
I just
Oh
don't feel like it.
no. Do you
I
have a
told you.
lot to do left?
No, I don't. I literally don't
Oh,
feel like playing Spider-Man anymore.
at the last second, you're literally about to cross the finish line.
Yeah, I
You
just don't feel
quit.
like playing it. Yeah, I just don't feel like
I
playing.
guess that's fair. Well,
I
are
already
you
beat
playing
the
anything
game.
else then?
No, I just been playing League of Legends. I'm actually about to transition to like either I'm gonna buy a game. I'm actually trying to wait till Black Friday to buy a game. So I want to buy like Alan
Mm,
Wake and all those games and everything like that.
mhm.
My Switch is still coming being held hostage, so I can't play any of my Switch games right now. So because I got like I'm backlogged on like 4 or 5 Switch games I'm really want to play. Um, so I think I'm about to actually go back and play like an old game. So I'm stuck between Near Automata, Near Replicant, uh, Metal Gear Revengeance, uh, Vanquish, or Devil May Cry 5. So either one of those games I'm gonna play. And just have a comfort game to play or whatever, and just be happy with that. So.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, well, I've been playing Genshin, Honkai. Not much to say there. I will say, thinking about dropping Genshin again. Trying to play both of these games is too much. So I think I'm gonna stick with Honkai because it just doesn't require very much time. Like I can log into this game at this point and auto battle like my energy and then do the rest of the shit I need to do in about 5 minutes and then turn the game off. It takes like 10 minutes probably. So I'm kind of at that point with that game, and I think I'm gonna stick with that one rather than Genshin. Genshin just requires too much time. It's too much of a time investment at this point. So I don't know. I'm not 100% there yet, but I think in the next week or two I probably will drop it. um, but yeah, I've been playing more Spider-Man 2, so I've not beaten it. I'm not like you. I didn't fucking murder the fucking game. But I am at this point, I think when I last looked at completion percentage, I'm like 38% complete with the game. But that completion percentage includes all the side activities in the game. So that is like
Mm,
my full completion percentage right now. So I'm actually taking some time, and I don't do this honestly almost ever anymore with open world games, but I'm doing a lot of the side activities between main missions now. I am just trying to knock them out when I'm kind of going by them on the way to something, and it's working pretty well for me. I've cleared a lot of the activities, and I'm like, I think I'm 17 missions into the main story, or maybe I'm maybe on the 18th. I think I've completed 17. I think I'm on the 18th now, and there's 31 total. So I'm over halfway in terms of raw number of missions. But I don't want to get into spoilers quite yet, but just talking about the rest of the game. So I think the game is excellent. You know, it's a really fun game. Swinging around as Spider-Man feels great. I think they've definitely made some changes to the swinging to make it feel faster. There's been some videos out there actually if you go look on comparing the swing speed in this game to the original one,
Hmm.
and this game is significantly faster on that regard. And I can kind of feel that there's a little bit more skill expression with the traversal too, with some additional moves that you get access to in the skill trees. And I think it's a good evolution, but it's not like a revolution, you know. They didn't completely change the way the game plays, you know. And I think the combat is you know, it's I'd say it's certainly better, but not by a whole lot, right? Like it this is that Arkham style combat, and I mean, I think we talked about this back when we talked about Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and probably 2018, whenever we talked about that. But you know, that Arkham style combat can only take a game so far in terms of being fun for me personally.
Yeah.
And I definitely find myself with this game because the way these games work, like, you know, the combat's kind of like if you're fighting a group of enemies that don't have any weapons or special characteristics to them, that you need to use a specific power for, you can literally just mash square and dodge at the right time and you can kill everybody, you know, without doing anything else. And I find myself falling into that rhythm sometimes when I'm doing encounters where I literally am just like, there's like no shield enemies, there's no sword enemies, there's no enemies with the pipe or whatever. It's just like a bunch of ranged attackers and some guys trying to punch you. And I'm like, you know, I just like square, square, square. Okay, that guy's dead. And then, you know, you dodge the fucking machine gun fire and then you kill the next guy. It's like you know, the game has plenty of skill expression in its combat. It's just not really wholly necessary a large amount of the time. And I that's like my biggest problem with the game, I guess, is all these upgrade trees and the skill trees and everything, and you're upgrading your gadgets and your fucking suits and you're doing all this shit, and it just doesn't feel wholly necessary most of the time. I think the only thing I will say is the powers that you get for Miles and Peter are cool to use. They're very effective and they feel powerful.
Hmm.
But the rest of it is just, you know, it's like you're not stringing combos together, you know, in any like skillful way. You're just mashing the square button, you know. So there's no skill expression there. The skill expression more comes in how you navigate the battlefield and where and when you decide to use powers and gadgets and stuff. So I mean, it is fun at times, but there's certain encounters that are just not challenging enough and they're boring. They end up being boring, you know, ultimately. So
Yeah,
um
I definitely, I don't know if I agree or disagree. I feel that way. I had to up the difficulty though, so maybe you'll have
that
better
might be what I
success
need to do too.
if you up the difficulty, because I did up the difficulty. Up the difficulty to the one right before. I think it's spectacular, and then it's
I
friendly
think that's what
neighborhood
I'm
spider.
on. I think
You're on
that's what I'm on.
spectacular.
I think I am.
Okay. I don't know if it's spectacular. It's the one right before you like the
Um
next level was ultimate.
I'm gonna
That's the
turn
one
the game.
I
I'm gonna turn the game on and check
yeah.
because I
Um
think I am on. I think I am on that second highest difficulty.
okay. Yeah, I had to switch it to the highest difficulty. Um it's just it's just better. You do have to maneuver the battlefield a lot more. They're a lot more aggressive. And the damage, you know, if you get hit or whatever the case may be, the damage, you know, obviously, you know, could kill you in like 3 or 4 hits or whatever. Um but yeah, I think once you unlock the gadgets, so the gadgets in this game are weird,
Mm,
because they are not meant as a, like in the older games, they were kind of meant as like a almost a one shot kills all thing. In this
yeah.
game, they're more of a
Crowd
combo
control.
extender. Yeah, crowd
Yeah.
control or combo extender. So, and that's actually what the director said he meant. They wanted to do with the gadgets in this one. They wanted to put more emphasis on skill and expression within the combo or within the combat. So, so you'll notice like a lot of the gadgets pop up enemies or pull them closer to where you can do more stuff in the air, whatever the case may be. Even some of your powers do that as well. Um, so yeah, but I still will say that I do get in the rhythm sometime when I am just fighting the regular cannon fodder enemies. Like I am just mashing square, dodge, mashing square, dodge, or
I mean,
whatever
you
the
don't
case
need
may
to
be.
do anything else
Yeah.
against them.
Um.
Like, I mean,
So
you could use an ability and it would like obliterate those guys, though. I will say,
yeah, and fucking hair. Um. Okay.
I am
My bad.
playing on amazing, by the way, which is the second highest difficulty. It's
Okay. And what's the next one after that? Friendly,
spectacular is the highest.
spectacular. Okay. Yeah. Um. So yeah. Um, I think amazing is okay. I played on amazing for like half the game, and then I switched to spectacular. But you don't lose any kind of trophies because there is no. I don't think there are any difficulty
There's no
trophies.
difficulty trophies yet.
Um, so it's purely up to you. But one thing I will say, which I agree with you on, and I don't know, if it's because of what you said. Um, but one of my friends posted on Twitter was like me and him usually post a lot of different combos and stuff like that. There's like a group of us that post combos and stuff like that. And he's like, "How come I haven't seen any combos from you guys on Spider-Man?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's definitely combo potential, right? But it just doesn't look as flashy as like Scarlet Nexus, Devil May Cry, um DMC Devil May Cry or something of that nature. It just doesn't look as flashy as those games. So when I was doing my combos, I did some crazy shit. One, I didn't want to post anything because of spoilers. So I let a lot of shit go because it either contained spoiler enemies or whatever the case may be. And then two, I just didn't care. I was just having fun playing the game. Like it wasn't I don't know. Spider Man can be flashy, and it's so weird, right? It's like Spider Man can be flashy, like Web of Shadows or anything like that. But like, I don't know. When I play those games, like I'm not in the flashy mood for those games, and it's
Mm,
almost like Near Automata. Like, and that's a weird game to say that with because that game's meant to be flashy, but for some reason in my head, the game isn't just flashy enough for me, and I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. But yeah, like the combo's really the combat is really good. It's just I don't know. To me, it just wasn't my cup of tea as far as like what I wanted to post as far as things because I can do some crazy shit in the game. It's
mm.
just not there, and I don't know if it's like the combat expression, like like you said, or or something like it's something crazy about games like Kingdom Hearts, uh, and I would say Spider-Man where it's like the single button combo games.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say to a certain extent like Devil May Cry is a single button extent combo game or whatever. But I have to like switch to different styles and stuff like that. And you can do that in Kingdom Hearts as well. And but there are certain inputs I have to press. Like I have to press, down X to do certain things, and over X, and up X, and I had to
Mm-hmm.
XX delay XXX. You know what I'm saying, like that or something of that nature.
Yeah, yeah. That's how they do the combos, yeah. Like the
Yeah,
different, yeah. And it's just like it's unnecessary though. It doesn't you don't have to again, you don't have to do that shit either.
yeah, exactly. And like they have a combo tree in Spider-Man. You could look it up.
It's actually
Uh,
pretty crazy when you look at
yeah,
the controls.
it's just the game doesn't force me to do it. But except when I'm in spectacular, like I have to do some of those combos. I have to learn it, and that's when I was having the most fun. Is when I did get introduced to more enemy types and everything of that nature. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it for what it was. I never really put Spider-Man. I put Spider-Man it was always that in between, like a casual and like a character action game for me. I never put it like solely character action for me. Even though like if someone wants to call it that, I think it's definitely that in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing is, I mean, these games are easy in general. All these Spider-Man games, and I think that's the intent. They're not trying to challenge people the way, I don't know, fucking like Dark Souls is or whatever, which is fine. But I think that's where I think you and I might find it a little lacking though. Is we want games to push us, and I just don't feel like this game really pushes you. And I think the other issue this game has with combat, at least so far for me, and maybe this changes later in the story, is the enemy variety is basically
Oh,
non-existent.
that does change a lot.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because the beginning of this game, the first like 30 to 50% of it is just hunters, and it's just different variations of hunters. It's the hunter with 2 swords. It's the hunter that has a crossbow. It's the hunter that has a machine gun. It's the hunter that just tries to punch you. And then they've added a couple new ones with like the giant hunter that has a fucking axe. And then there's the brute hunter. And it's like hunters, and hunters. It's like, I am so tired of fucking fighting these guys and the stupid music that plays when you get into combat with them. I'm fucking like, I'm already over them. I feel like the enemy variety in Miles and in the first game was like vastly superior. There was just so many more different types of enemies in those 2 games compared to this. But maybe it changes. Like I said, I don't know. I haven't beaten the game yet. It's just that's my feeling right now. I'm so tired of hunters and fighting hunters. Because dude, there's barely situations in this game where you even fight just like regular thugs. Like I did a side mission earlier today, and on my break, and I was like. I had to fight like a group of like 4 or 5 thugs, and I was like, oh my god, these enemies exist in this game. I was like, what the fuck? And it was like a stupidly easy encounter, but it's like, oh my god, there's actually thugs in this game. It's like, okay, it's like they exist. So I think the game is a little like one note in this first part, with the hunters for sure, but it's I will say some of the more recent enemies though, that brute with the two-headed axe blade or 2-bladed axe, fucking those guys are brutal, man. Jesus Christ. They're actually kind of fun to fight, but I don't know, the rest of them I'm definitely over it at this point. Doing like the hunter blinds and shit, it's just like hunters and you're fighting their stupid cat robots and the fucking bird robots and shit. Like, yeah.
I will push back on one thing. I actually like that the game is not that difficult. After like playing a couple months of difficult video games or games that do challenge us, it was kind of nice to just sit back and go on autopilot and play the game. And
I don't think I'm saying that's a negative. Like I guess what I'm saying is like I think that's where the combat isn't as high for me, I guess. But it's okay. It's not a horrible thing. It doesn't ruin the game. It's like you said, I'm kind of with you. I like the fact that this game is the way it is. I love the idea that I can just kind of autopilot the game and just be all along for the ride of a good Spider-Man story,
Yeah. And I don't know how you feel about this as the East Coaster. I know. No, I'm just
good.
Like I don't know how you feel about this, right? As an East Coaster, I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
I know, Boston, New Jersey, New York, y'all have your own different accents and stuff like that.
Sure,
but for the love of fucking God, can I get my fucking New York Peter back, yo? Like, who is this guy? Like,
okay.
I love Yuri. I love him, bro. But I need my hey, I'm walking here. I need my Peter, man. I need that Peter back, man. Like,
well, yeah. So, okay, let's go to spoilers a little bit. So if you guys haven't beat the game, you don't want to hear this, like just skip forward a bit in the episode. But yeah, so well, that is one funny thing you're bringing up, because the thing that I thought you were gonna go somewhere else with this is just the amount of just like shitty New York accents in the game is just like so comical at a certain point. where it was like, hey, it's the spider, hey, Spider-Man, like it's like, dude, it gets so comical at a certain point when you're just flying through the city and you just hear that shit like, hey, Spider-Man, and I'm like, oh my god, bro, like Jesus Christ, it's like. It kind of reminds me of Fallout 4 where they had like the shitty Boston accents all over the game, and I couldn't handle it in that game. I had to exit,
Okay, so I maybe because I'm not from Boston, I couldn't hear the shitty Boston accents because I didn't even know they had accents in Fallout 4. It was only a couple people where it was like really apparent, like, okay, yeah, like you're definitely trying to be from Boston. But like other people, I didn't really hear it that much. That's crazy that you heard it and I didn't. That's really
that's all. It was all over that game, but no, in this game, the New York accent thing is funny. Specifically about Peter, though. I do kind of agree with you on that. Like, this Peter is such a. I mean, Peter's always like kind of the goody two shoes, like Boy Scout kind of character. And I don't necessarily mind that as much, but there's some lines in the game though that are really just like, oh my god, brother! Like where he was telling MJ he got fired early in the game from his teaching job, and he was like, we were gonna make potato-powered helicopters, and I'm like, oh god, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, oh, okay, dude. So like, that part of it, because I will say, I right now in the game, I vastly prefer Miles as a character, and that goes to the voice acting as well for me. I just enjoy Miles a lot. Like, I think he, kind of, I don't know, I don't. Like, I'm not saying I don't want Peter, but I do see what you're saying, that like there's some element of the way they've built Peter Parker in this universe that isn't 100% right,
Yeah. So, and this is going to sound like I'm hating on the game, but I'm not. It's just I think it's a great criticism of the game. I'm reading the comics now. I'm reading Ultimate Spider-Man and everything like that. And also, I used to watch the cartoons, and I used to play the old like Spider-Man games. And he had an accent in those games. Even Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man has an accent.
Yeah.
And a little bit of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. You can tell he has he put the little New York flair on it. And I just thought that was like cool. And it's like not a big gripe. I didn't notice it in the first Spider-Man, the Spider-Man 2018. I didn't notice it in that game. But like it's apparent in this game. And even with Miles, sometimes he doesn't have, I think he's from the Bronx, right? Is he from the Bronx or Brooklyn? Okay, he's from the Bronx. Like he doesn't have like the Bronx accent. And it's like, I want that accent too for him. And I'm not saying like everybody should sound like that. Some people get rid of their accents. Like my accent goes in and out. Your accent goes in and out. You know what I'm saying? So but we're in Texas though. So, I mean, it's just natural for us. Right. But like they're in New York. And yeah, you see hey, Spider-Man. And it's not like he's like, hey, I'm your friendly neighborhood spider. Like he's not from his
voice, dude. I will say it is really comical. Like his voice is so distinct within the game that I find it hilarious that people don't know who he is. Like people that know him don't know he's Spider-Man. I'm like, bro, like, dude. I will say they play with that a little bit when Harry goes to help him at the amusement the park, when they were at the amusement park, and the roller coaster's falling apart, and he instantly recognizes Peter's voice, and I was like, oh, thank God, they're not going to do this. Okay, they're not doing this thing where he's like, oh, Spider-Man, who are you? No, they didn't do any of that bullshit with them. So Harry instantaneously knew it was Peter, which was good. But I think the other thing I want to say too is, obviously, again, haven't played the whole game, have not seen the whole story play out, but the way Peter and Miles both are in this game is like they're such unhealthy people. It's so fucking funny. They are like workaholics in the worst way possible, where they force everyone around them to accept how deep into their workaholic natures they are. Because there's parts in this game where I'm like, these guys are literally just assholes. Like there's early in the game, Miles is talking to his mom in their apartment, and she wants to like have dinner and bring over this guy that she started dating, and she likes him, and she wants to introduce him to Miles. And Miles is like, oh yeah, that sounds great. And then he gets like a call on his phone. He's like, oh, sorry, mom, I can't tonight. I gotta go. And then his mom like is trying to talk to him on the phone, and he literally like just hangs up on her basically, and he's like, "Oh, mom, sorry, I can't talk right now. I really can't. I'm super busy right now." And it's like he's just sitting on the roof of their apartment, like not doing anything. Like he could have talked to her. Like it wasn't that urgent. He had to like travel across the city. You know, it would have taken him a little bit of time. He could have had the conversation about the dinner with her, and he just doesn't. And then Peter does the same thing to Miles at multiple points where Miles is trying to talk to him, and this feels like a thread they're pulling at early in the game where they're going to do something with this later, where Miles is like doesn't know what's going on with Peter, and he's like trying to talk to Pete and get like updates, and he's like, "Hey man, you like almost died or whatever," and Pete's just like, "Oh yeah, man. Oh no, yeah, that was crazy, but no, it's fine." And oh, sorry, Miles, I gotta go. It's like someone else is calling him, like Harry's calling him or some shit, and I'm like, dude, he's just like standing each other up and standing up other people in their lives for this superhero thing, and it's like they don't even need to do that in the moment that they're in. It's like almost comical.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not gonna say anything, but that does play a part in the story.
Yeah.
They're setting that up on purpose. But yeah, I agree. It is like even without context, I kind of picked. I mean, you picked up on it, so I picked up on it too. Like, okay, I see where they're trying to go with this and everything of that nature. I don't know. I just think maybe because this has always been a Spider-Man thing. I still think MJ is just fucking annoying, bro.
Okay, I was gonna bring her up too. Yeah.
I think she's a lot better in this game and throughout. This is probably I probably like this MJ more than other MJs that I've seen in Spider-Man like franchises and stuff like that. But I don't know there's a part early in the game where he gets Aunt May's house, and they're in Aunt May's house. I'm not spoiling anything. He's in Aunt May's house, and he pretty much asks her like, "Hey, you want to move in?" And she's like, "We talked about this," and it's like, bro, just move in. Like,
yeah,
you've been with him for like 20. Like, I'm sure not 20 years, but you've been with him for like 5 to 10 years. Like, either you're gonna marry the guy or you're not. Like, he's Spider-Man, though. We all know he's Spider-Man. Like, either do it or don't. Like, I understand. He even went to a different country with you and traveled to that fictional, that fictional country and everything with you and everything like that. So it was just like, to me, it was annoying because I'm like, I'm tired of seeing Peter get treated like this, and I'm just like, man, I hope Felicia comes in and just like woos him, like, hey, I'm still here, baby. Like, no, she's toxic, bro, but she loves you. Like,
yeah, but dude, I think MJ. The thing with MJ right now is she is enabling Peter's workaholic nature with the being Spider-Man thing, because she's like helping him with investigations and trying to get information for him and stuff on certain things he's trying to find out. So that might, because I think that was the original reason in this universe they broke up, is she couldn't deal with that. She was like really frustrated with Peter that he would literally just be Spider-Man all the time, and they never like were together at all. And that is the thing I think she forgave at the end of the first game, and that's why they ended up back together.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I see where you're coming from, like, because she's doing her own thing in the same way.
Exactly.
They're equally unhealthy in that regard, and to the point that their relationship to me is not healthy. Like, I don't think they're functional. But the other thing I'm going to say, and I don't know how much worse this gets later in the game, is MJ as a character, like the just blatant insertion of her into the fucking plot is. I'm sorry. I know Laura Bailey's a really famous voice actor, and you guys are probably paying her a lot of money, and you want to get the most out of that fucking paycheck you're sending her. But Jesus Christ, like, I don't like, the one thing I didn't need in this game were more MJ missions. And I know the producers and the game director are out there trying to fucking defend the shit out of this, but I've done the first one, and I know there are more. And like, what
I will say,
what are we doing here, bro? Like,
I will say,
did they get better?
There's not as many.
Yeah,
like,
I think
the first Spider-Man, they're I think
but
you have,
dude, she
you
is
have two
fucking
you have two more.
she's
You have 2 more
fucking wrecking
missions.
dudes with this stun gun. You know,
Oh, bro,
like
she's broken. She's overpowered.
so insanely powerful. Like this stun gun is wrecking these guys. And dude, when I say she's taking out as many guys as Peter is, like I'm not fucking kidding. In this first mission, it's like 20 dudes you have to take out to do the mission. And it's this like long stealth mission section. It's probably 20 minutes if you don't fuck up at all. And if you do fuck up, you have to do sections of it again, so it'll take you longer. And I just didn't find it to be necessary to what they were trying to do.
Which part are you on?
So this is hours ago for me. I've done this a while back. This was like earlier in the week I did this. So this was the one where she was trying to save Lizard, Dr. Connors.
Okay, yeah. I think that's like 1 out of 3 missions.
Yeah, there's I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I heard there's only 3 of them, but like this is what I'm talking about though. Is you're putting her in a, first of all, the way she gets into that situation in the first place is so comic booky. It's absurd. She's on the phone with Peter, who's flying around, New York trying to find these hunters and trying to find Dr. Connors. And she is literally in the back of a hunter's van, like with her laptop open, fucking typing and talking to Peter. And they don't notice her and they close the door and she's stuck in the van and they drive to their base with her in it, And she she literally gets out of the back of their van and fucks all these guys up and frees Dr. Connors. And it's just like,
bro, can we talk about how these are elite hunters?
Yeah.
These are like the best of the best in the world. Yeah. Like they can take out other soldiers and everything like that. And they can't sense a reporter behind them.
Right. She's a normal person, by the way. This is not somebody with powers. She's not enhanced. She isn't physically gifted in any particular way.
Did you catch the line they tried to slide in there, though? I think she got trained by somebody.
Oh, yeah?
You hear that? She's like, they trained me to do this or something like that.
God,
it was somebody that trained her to do her little takedown moves and stuff.
You can't do that, bro. Like, that is not the way
I'm gonna let you know, bro. It just gets worse. She is literally the most broken character in the game, bro.
So it's really funny because there's obviously when you get caught, like the hunters will have their crossbow or whatever, and they'll just murder, MJ and like no shot the second she's seen. But when she's not seen, she's like the most effective assassin I've ever seen. Like it's absurd. So it's I don't like this insertion of a character like this. I understand MJ is important in Spider-Man, and she's an important facet, but they have got to figure out a different way to do this, I think, going forward.
That was a part of my rant last week.
Yeah.
Stop doing this shit. It's not fun.
It's not working. It's not fun. It breaks immersion.
I was just about to say it totally even if it is fun. I think her missions on this game were fun.
They're better. Yeah, they're better. It was better for sure. Yeah.
But it totally breaks their immersion because, bro, why am I not just as Spider-Man swinging around with that stun gun? I can take out everybody one shot. Boom, 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 boom.
I know you're doing all this work, dude. Like,
and I'm doing all these combos and stuff like that and everything like that. Getting my combo gauge up and pressing triangle and X or triangle and circle at the same time to do my finishers. And all Mary J has to do is like walk up behind him and stun gun him once. So I don't like that, and I don't want to play as Mary Jane anymore. Like, she's a great character. I'm glad she's not like a damsel in distress type character. I'm glad she helps the main cast out. But if you really want to insert like another character, just give me a female Spider-Man or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just do that for me. But besides that, I don't need this Mary Jane. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I really thought, bro, they were gonna have us play as Harry, but like, I mean, no offense to anybody, but like the crippled version of Harry. And I was like, they're probably gonna have us do this, but they didn't. So, kudos to that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's well, that would have been more interesting though to play as Harry in like his souped up form. Maybe like that would have been an interesting alternative gameplay, but. That of course they didn't do that. So, but
there is one mission. I don't want to spoil it for you, but there is one mission that's an optional mission that I think is very cool. And it has nothing to do with like Mary Jane or anybody else. But I think it's a very cool mission.
Yeah.
To
Okay.
see it from their perspective. But that
Yeah.
that was about it. They only did it one time, and that's all I needed.
I see. Yeah, I think if you want to integrate MJ into the plot, though, do it some other way. Like make her the investigator who's like, she's not putting herself in jeopardy, but she's finding clues and stuff, and things like that. Like do that. You could do that, and it doesn't have to be stealth gameplay. It could be some kind of puzzle or fucking investigative thing, or she's like investigating a crime scene that the hunters left or something like that. Something that Peter and Miles can't get to. That kind of thing. I don't fucking know, dude. Like it's just like I don't know why they felt like they needed to put her in a combat situation, you know, because like once she's caught and you try to hit the run button and run at these guys, she's like a fucking soccer mom. Like she's slow as fuck. Like it's so I don't know. And plus this stun gun has like unlimited energy. Like there's no doesn't run out of charges or anything like that. Like what the hell is that shit, dude? Like goddamn.
It does. It's a gauge. It goes by your web gauge.
It does? I didn't notice that at all. I was obliterating these guys. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like,
it goes by your web gauge.
Okay. I mean, all right, fair enough. But anyways, I'm not that far into the game. I do have the Venom suit. That is a very fun aspect to the game, I will say. I think the Venom powers are really cool for sure. But it is, I guess I will say it is interesting how Peter focused the first half of the game is. Like Miles is kind of not that involved yet. I'm sure that changes, but it's I mean we're getting deep into the game now, and it's been very Peter heavy. So I mean
the main story is Peter, but if you can switch over to Miles, he does have a lot of stuff like going on with himself. So
no, I know. I mean, a lot of the side missions are actually Miles focused, which is interesting that they decided to make that distinction. Because I just did all the Brooklyn Visions things earlier today, the little side quests for that, those are fun, and cool. And obviously some of the activities like the Mysteriums and the Prowler, hideouts, are you have to be Miles to do those. I think that's certainly interesting as well. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the game's good. I'm having fun with it. The story I'm intrigued by certainly, but I haven't gotten deep enough to really see things play out in any significant way. I do think the the moment where Peter dies was funny because obviously he gets saved and revived real quick, but the way he just shoots up and is literally ready for combat like nothing fucking happened is hilarious. I don't know, Craven so far, we're learning more about him. He's certainly an interesting character, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I need more to kind of understand this guy a little bit better. At this point, given he's supposed to be like the quote primary villain in the game. So, but we'll see. There's definitely some plot threads hanging too, with like Martin Lee and stuff that have not been cleaned up yet. Also, one other thing I do want to mention is the fact that Craven is like killing supervillains is, I will say that is fairly ballsy that they're doing that. They're just offing these guys like permanently, like they're gone, like they ain't coming back in the series. And some of these are characters that we fought in the first game, like Vulture and Scorpion. Is interesting certainly too. I will say so. That is kind of a cool element to it. But I kind of want to see that's what I think they could do is like let us fight Craven as like some of these villains. That would have been interesting, and lose. You end up like losing the fight or whatever, and they die afterwards. Like that would have been interesting too. That could have been a different way to like differentiate the gameplay. But I don't know. So. All right, Montrell. Well, that's it for what we've been playing. So let's move into the news this week. And we do have some interesting stories. So big one out of Xbox. They are doing some type of reorg of some sort. This was announced, not publicly, but there was an internal memo about this sent by Phil Spencer. And I am not going to read the whole memo. It is absurdly long. However, there are some key things we do want to call out in there. The biggest one being that ZeniMax, which is the company that owned Bethesda, is they're going to be reporting directly now to Matt Booty, who is the president of game content and studios in Xbox, which was not the case before. I don't believe they had a direct reporting structure outside of reporting to Phil Spencer. So in some form or fashion. So that is a big change. Certainly. Jamie Letter will continue to lead ZeniMax. He was the president and CEO prior to this and still is. So that is not changing necessarily. However, there's some other folks as well, and I'm not going to go through all these names, but I want to call out the key ones. Sarah Bond is going to be president of Xbox. And this is directly from the memo, bringing together devices, player and creator experiences, platform engineering, strategy, business planning, data and analytics, and business development. That is a lot of things under one person. So Sarah Bond will be doing that as well. And there's some others in here. There's a lot of names within this memo. But those are the key three ones that I wanted to call out in here. Specifically, the biggest one is Matt Booty being over ZeniMax. So, I mean, Montrell, we've criticized Phil, not being able to handle the unwieldy size of the number of studios that they have under their umbrella at this point in Xbox. And do you feel like this is kind of an admission of that fact that he needs a little bit of help?
Yes, 100%. I feel like this is even Xbox themselves, or maybe Microsoft came to them and said, "Hey, bro, you may need some help."
Mm-hmm.
Because we see it with the exclusives. I think that's valid criticism. That they're not producing. They have all these studios under them, and they're not producing the money that they should be producing. They have this world-class talent from all these different studios, and nothing's coming of it, in my opinion. We rarely had anything come of it. I mean, they had a couple of hits like Sea of Thieves, Grounded, but those are like niche hits.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else has been, in my opinion, like a miss or just a meh. And a lot of these studios aren't meh. They should be like, hey, we are, they should be making hits. So yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree that, or I think this is an admission that he needs to delegate more stuff.
Yeah.
Or, at least let other people step into his position and do it better. Because I feel like he's a good acquirer. He has good vision. But as far as actually doing the day-to-day managing, he's not that good. And that's an okay quality to have, in my opinion. Not everybody's a micromanager or wants to manage. I'm not that type of person.
Agreed. Yeah, right. I'm learning that about myself right now, is that, I don't really want to manage. Like I kind of just want to, like do cool stuff with technology and yeah. So it's, it is a journey. And I think this is good to see that at least they're doing something to change things up a little bit, because the status quo is not fully working. And I don't think, again, I think we've talked about Phil a lot, and I don't think Phil's the wrong guy to lead Xbox necessarily, but I think you hit the nail on the head, is that he's not the right guy, though, to run the day-to-day of the operations of the entire vertical. Like he needs other people to step in and kind of do that stuff and do the hard jobs, Like, I don't think Phil wants to do the hard job, the hard part of the job, where you tell a studio like, hey, you guys are not delivering, like we kind of need that to change, or to change direction of a game when it doesn't look like it's going to go, when it's going well or something like that, that kind of thing. Like, somebody needs to do that, and that's not fun. And I sympathize with Phil, because I have a similar problem. I don't really like, disciplining people and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
So I get that, but somebody's got to do it. You got to have people who can do that in your organization,
Well, hell, I hate canceling projects or like with like third-party vendors or something like that. I'm like, hey, this was supposed to be this day, but this got, whether it's due to like something else or out of my control, I have to cancel it. And I hate doing that, because I feel like I wasted everybody's time when I know that's not the case, or maybe it is the case to them, but in the context of what it is, like it is what it is with that. So
Mhm. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's a big change. We'll see what comes of it. Obviously, we'll be monitoring all of Xbox's releases going forward, but um, it's interesting to see. I do wonder what we'll see when Activision loses Bobby Kotick in the beginning of next year. Like, will there be a similar reorg that happens on that side? I'd be interested to see that. I don't necessarily think so at this point, but probably would be wise because that is a really valuable acquisition, and I would think that Xbox and Microsoft certainly would not want that to be fucked up in any way. So, you want to keep the Call of Duty rolling, you want to keep the Blizzard games rolling, and frankly, actually get more out of Blizzard, and maybe change some of the culture there, but. So we'll see about that later in the year or early next year, rather. Um, okay, let's move on to the next story. This is kind of like a whole bunch of stories in one. So there's a ton of Sony stuff this week that happened. So the first one, and I'm going to kind of combine these together in some sort of way. So the first one is Connie Booth, who has overseen the production of series like Crash Bandicoot, Spider-Man, Uncharted. She departed um, Sony Interactive Entertainment this past week, or actually not this past week, but it came out that this happened this past week. It seemed to have happened earlier in October, but she was a high-level executive at Sony for PlayStation specifically, and this was actually broken, interestingly, by David Jaffe, the former PlayStation developer who made Twisted Metal, is the big series he's known for back in the day, and he's actually kind of part of the media almost now. He has his own show and he does live streams and stuff, and he's still got connections in the industry though, and specifically with Sony, which is this is really interesting. So he's not the type of person to keep his mouth shut when he knows things. So it's kind of fun actually to see, but this was broken by him. And this was a big departure because Connie has a lot to do with the current stable of studios and their operation. So losing somebody like her after 34 years, by the way, she was at PlayStation, which is an extremely long time. It's interesting the timing of this with her departing, with Jim Ryan announcing his resignation, him stepping down in retirement rather, and then all this along with a bunch of layoffs that are happening at various studios within the PlayStation family. So Bungie laid off about 8% of staff this last week, which we'll get into that more specifically here. But there was layoffs at Naughty Dog. There were layoffs at Media Molecule that happened a few weeks ago. And then there were also layoffs at the Santa Monica-based visual arts team as well. All of this within the last few months that have happened, but specifically the Bungie stuff happened this week. Media Molecule, I think, was a few weeks ago. I think the visual arts was also a few weeks ago. We talked about the Naughty Dog stuff on the show. I think that was sometime early October, late September, somewhere in there. So there's a lot of movement going on at Sony right now. And this is amidst rumors going around as well that they may be scaling back their live service plan, not necessarily going as all in as they were with this plan. Now, this rumor, take this one with a grain of salt. It was started by somebody on Reset Era, so, and there hasn't been a lot of corroboration from what I've seen on this one of other news outlets corroborating this information. So that one maybe take with a grain of salt, but it is an interesting rumor amidst all this other information that I just threw at you guys. That there just seems to be a really big shakeup happening at PlayStation right now. And it's making me wonder if this is akin to what happened several years ago. Actually, I think it was about 10 years ago now with Sony NA or PlayStation NA kind of taking the reins and becoming the true headquarters back then.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Is this kind of a almost a reversal of all that happening now? Because remember, Hiroki Totoki is the one taking over for Jim Ryan, and their current CEO is Japanese as well, I believe. So for Sony overall, not PlayStation specifically. But so it's kind of a lot of information. I just threw a lot. I just threw a lot at you, Montrell. But give me your like top level thoughts, of most of the things I just mentioned, and you can jump in at
Um,
whatever you want there too.
I think it's like I said, like a perfect storm of things. Um, I think it's one. It's because, well, the first thing I think is obviously because they hired a lot of people. A lot of companies did, and not to get political, but this is more so financial. In the U.S. market, rather, the Feds have been raising prices as far as raising the credit hike, credit rates rather. So that's been having a toll on a lot of businesses who did do the grand hiring booms that happened in 2020 and 2021, and even a little bit of 2022, and the salaries also that were going up and everything of that nature throughout these last 3 years. That was a thing that was going on as well, and I feel like this is a part of that. Like why we're seeing, because it's not just Sony that's doing these layoffs; there's a lot of other companies as well. But another part of that factor too is, like you said, I didn't even think about Hiroki Totoki taking over, and it's almost like the opposite or reverse effect of when Sony, when Jim Ryan became the head of all PlayStation, and they wanted to kind of move everything here. Um, we did actually report on, or I don't know if we reported on it, but we did say like a lot of the Sony studios in Japan were closing down or
Yeah. Well, Japan's
being
studio
redirected.
was dissolved. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Right.
um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a perfect combination of things that's going on right now. Unfortunately,
Yeah, and, I do want to talk about Bungie specifically real quick in here is um they had layoffs and they are actually not doing very hot right now. Their overall sales for Destiny 2 are down 45% to their expectations for the year so far. And that does not look to be getting any better in the last couple months of the year, which is a startling decline for a game like Destiny 2. I mean, Montreal, do you think Destiny's in trouble?
yes, I think the last expansion they did,
Yeah, Lightfall.
yeah, I think that was very lackluster. And
Hmm.
then when they finally revealed what the actual darkness was, it just wasn't worth it. And I think a lot of people left after that. In my opinion, I kind of lost
Wait, what was the
interest.
darkness? Oh.
It's hard to explain, but not. So
Yeah.
like it's like this guy called the Witness. He was kind of like chasing the traveler, and he came from a previous civilization that used the traveler. Um, but we still don't kind of. I mean, there probably is a lot of lore that I'm missing. I don't know who the traveler is still yet. Um,
Isn't
but
the
from
Traveler
what I,
that giant ball thing?
yeah. So like I don't really know who the traveler is per se yet still, but at the same time, it's like uh the information we got was not the best information, and the darkness that the traveler was running from was this person called the Witness, who we still really don't have good expose on who it was. They're still doing this whole thing where they're being very vague about everything and want to leave it open ended, and it's like this game is, I think it's been 10 years, right? No, it hasn't been 10 years yet. It'll be 10
It's
years in
close.
2015.
No,
So
2014. Sorry,
20,
it was 2014. We're a year away from. It's been 9 years.
9 years. Okay.
It sounds like what you're saying though is that they didn't know this information. Like they didn't write down when they were writing the lore for Destiny like who the Traveler is, who the darkness is, or what the darkness is. It's like kind of feels like they're making up as they go. That's what it sounds like, at least.
I think they are. I think they're making a lot of shit up as they go, and they just don't know where to go from there.
Hmm.
So, and on top of that, like Destiny is a huge money maker for them. So, why would you want to close the story out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they even made up. Well, I'm gonna say made up. Maybe it was a part of the story, but they're adding in other factions and other races that should have been there from the start. And it's like, where was this faction at when this whole thing was going on? Uh, like these cloud. I don't know, they're from a different planet, but they're like these like cool like cloud people that have wings and
Yeah,
look like what's his face? Icarus. They look like the Icarus.
but
They're
they're in
like
the soul. They're like in the solar system.
yeah, and it's like where were these people at? So
Yeah,
I I, I don't know, man. At some point it's like where do we go from here? I think this is just a product of like always having continual growth and not wanting to shut the franchise down, and it's actually killing a lot of creativity. And I think this is clear proof uh, that Bungie, it's not Activision, it's not Sony, it's Bungie at this point, or it's not Microsoft, it's Bungie at this point. Like Bungie wanted to do this,
yeah,
and that's what they're doing. I mean, they even got rid of like one of their best composers, or the second best composer. I don't want to say
yeah,
second best, but
yeah.
like one of their best composers. They had Marty O'Donnell first, and now I forgot his name. Is it Martin?
I'm getting the name right now. Michael Salvatore.
Michael Salvatore, who did music for Halo 2 and Reach
All
and
the
everything
Halo
like.
games, actually.
Yeah, all the
The
Halo
dude's been
games.
the dude's been with them since their inception.
Yeah, and they let him go.
Yeah,
So it's like I think he was so upset that he even changed his profile to like just going fishing. Like I'm done with this bullshit.
yeah. His he has a website where he had a bio of working at Bungie for 30 years or whatever it was, and yeah, just tore that all down this week. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting. I think this is why with the rumors of Sony scaling back the live service, as much as it's from like Reset Era, it kind of makes sense given all this with the leadership stepping down, them letting go of Connie Booth. They want to change the direction of things probably, and to do that, you need to get rid of leadership that isn't going to help you make that change. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying that Jim Ryan got forced out, but maybe he got forced out, and I think the other thing, like just with Bungie, just to finish off with them, is they did delay the next Destiny 2 expansion from February to, it sounds like, June or July next year. And then Marathon has also been delayed from 2024 to 2025. So Bungie in general is not doing super hot, which is interesting given, I mean, they were just acquired by PlayStation last year,
Yeah,
Um, it,
exactly.
it's like it hasn't even been that long, and this is already feels like it's like falling apart for them. So I think Sony might have misplayed their hand here with this live service bet because live service games are not that popular right now, I guess I would say. I mean, you still have some of the big boys like Fortnite and Apex and stuff like that, and obviously League, but I mean, these are hyper established players that have very ingrained fan bases, and like if you're trying to make a new game in this arena, um, you can't realistically hope you're going to siphon much off of those games. It's not a good business play in my opinion, and Destiny's not even having that specific problem. It's literally losing its players. um that's the other issue with live service games, is that it's really difficult for them to go on this long. 9 years is a long time for a series to go on as a live service enterprise, and Destiny 2 specifically is at 6 years, and that's a long time for a game that is driven by, story driven content that you're adding, that kind of thing. And it's a pseudo MMO. And what MMOs out there have lasted that long? World of Warcraft, like that's the only one you can really think of. I guess Final Fantasy 14 maybe as well, but those are like exceptions, and this is why this whole bet on live service is just not necessarily making a whole lot of sense to me personally, because you're just not guaranteed to find success. And Sony, I'm not saying they shouldn't do it at all. Like I do think it wasn't a bad choice necessarily to do that, but to divert what feels like 50% or more of your resources into this endeavor was kind of a foolish thing to do. And then you've got, we were talking about the Last of Us fucking factions, dude. Like, the idea that, because the rumor was that Bungie came in and evaluated all these games, and like, what right do they have to evaluate any of these games? Their game's falling apart right now. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like that whole situation is like super frustrating to me. I'd love to see what Naughty Dog put together as a game. Like I really would love to see what it is. And it might not be a forever game, but that's fucking fine. We don't need forever games. This is what happens when you have a quote forever game. And eventually it dies. So I don't know, man. It's like the whole thing with Sony and the live service stuff and Bungie and their involvement and all this is just like really frustrating. Like I feel like we've just wasted a whole bunch of development time the last like 2 or 3 years in PlayStation's first party that could have been gone to making, single player games. You know, that's my feeling though. I don't know. I mean, do you feel any different?
No, I mean I agree with you. I feel like it did just go back to wasting everybody's time, and it's not a good look. Uh, this could have went towards other games, could have went towards factions. I think they expanded too fast. They were trying to keep up with Microsoft, and this is one of those things where it came back to bit of an ass. You don't have unlimited um,
Funds,
capital. Yeah, like like unfortunately Microsoft does. You don't have a Windows to back up to fall back on. So um, you got to make more strategic decisions, and maybe that's why Jim Ryan was pushed out. I don't know. Maybe he was pushed out because they didn't fight hard enough for Activision. I don't know where you can go with this. So it's a lot of different
Yeah.
angles you can go with it. But
Yeah. Well, the other, yeah, and I mean the crux of the issue too here is like if they decide to slow the roll on the live service stuff, like what do you do then? Do you release what you have and then you have those studios work on something else afterwards, or do you stop them from working on what they're working on now and go back to focusing on single player? But even if you do that, like, dude, I mean, we're talking about starting projects in the end of 2023. I mean, they might not have games ready until the next console's out for Sony,
yeah,
So you're almost jeopardizing the PS5, for the decisions they've made, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I think Sony has legitimately given Microsoft a window, to make their move. As much as I don't think Microsoft is up to the task,
I was about to say that I don't think they're up to the task to make the move, but
but they
it is
could.
a
There's a window.
yeah, there's a great opportunity, and hopefully, like these new leaders, the new leadership, kind of see that opportunity and seize it. Because this is definitely a blind spot right now, and yeah, like you said, I don't know where Sony goes from here. Like, do they just shut down everything? Oh my god, do they just shut down everything, or um, do they continue to go for live service? But the problem with live service is it's live. So I think a lot of companies like see Genshin Impact, they see World of Warcraft, they see all these other games that are successful, but they don't understand like the server maintenance behind it and everything like that. So
They also don't understand why they're successful,
yeah, exactly.
Like Genshin Impact is a very specific thing that Hoyoverse got there first. They did it first. They made a single player gotcha MMO. Like that is what they did, and it's kind of almost a new genre. I'd call it like a subgenre. I probably more like that, but like you can't copy that now. We've seen it. Like Tower of Fantasy copied it, and that game nobody gives a shit about Tower Fantasy, dude. Like it's a fucking dead game. Like who cares? And then we've seen other companies like also trying to clone that, and it just doesn't work. Like Genshin is so powerful, which is funny because Hoyoverse is like eating into their own game with Honkai Star Rail. They did it again though. They made another one of these games, and it's like they have a format they've figured out that people respond to, that players respond to, and other companies like if you're trying to chase that specific thing, you've already lost, in my opinion. Like to me, you need to be coming up with your own Genshin Impact in the sense of something new that people don't know about yet, that they don't know they want,
Yeah.
Because if you're not doing that in the live service space, I don't think you have a prayer, personally. I just like I really don't. I don't think you have a prayer. Like,
But yeah, no, I agree. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm kind of glad like the live service thing is dying. But at the same time, like it's like where do these studios go from here? I feel like the industry itself has to pick itself back up
Yeah,
because a lot of people were depending on the
definitely.
live service model to be their thing, and it's not their thing. I mean, and it's not the thing anymore. A lot of people don't have money to spend on live service uh stuff and everything of that nature. I mean, you like you said, you still have your Genshin Impacts and your Honkai Star Rails and everything like that. But behind those games are quality games. And I don't know. I feel like I also don't want to also just blame the feds and the acquisitions and the change in leadership. I also want to blame just leadership in general for not recognizing the trends. When we were doing the show from the closet, from both closets, and then we finally moved it into the main room, how many fucking BRs did we go through in that span?
Yeah,
How
a
many
lot,
hero shooters died?
a lot.
You know? And then just at the beginning of this year, I believe we had like at least 30 random live service games die. So why would you
Yeah,
double down on those games? You see what I'm
right.
saying? And even if and I can give you like, okay, well, Montrell, that those 18 to 30 live service game that just happened this year, and it's hard to plan ahead that far. Okay, cool. I could give you that. But we saw what happened for the last 4 years before COVID. I mean, right before COVID and during COVID, we saw these games die, and no one recognized that this maybe isn't the mantra. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know. I think EA got lucky with Apex. I mean, remember they tried to do
they
the
did. They
Firestorm,
definitely got lucky with Apex. I don't.
yeah,
Yeah,
and they tried to do Firestorm for Battlefield, and it didn't work out.
they like
Um,
ruined Battlefield.
they ruined Battlefield. Microsoft tried to do Halo Infinite, and it's
Yep,
just now
they've
getting in a
ruined
good
Halo
spot. They ruined Halo.
for a while.
Um,
Like, yeah, dude.
and even to a certain extent, I mean, Destiny has been running on autopilot.
Yeah,
Um, and it only takes like one thing. If a game is running on autopilot, in my opinion, it only takes one thing. When they introduced the Eververse, to me, that was a sign of the times for Destiny.
right.
In my opinion. And uh I mean, you released The Last of Us, and that didn't have good reception. I mean, we liked it, but let's be honest, it didn't have really good reception.
Right.
Um, so not, I mean, your one true hit was God of War Ragnarok. I don't really know.
Horizon Forbidden
Oh
West.
yeah, in Horizon Forbidden West. I didn't play that, so that's why I keep forgetting. Nigga, I'm sorry, y'all. Um,
Oh, you never actually played that?
Forbidden West, no, not Forbidden West.
Wow.
I played
Okay.
Horizon, the first Horizon, yes, but
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
Forbidden West.
Yeah.
Um, so uh yeah, they don't have any like live service games to call their own. And if I was PlayStation, I would be like, why the fuck would we want that? I mean, I can see why buying Bungie at the time may have been a good investment because you're like, well, we can just buy them and then we will have a live service game in our arsenal. I think the problem came in with one, how much they paid for Bungie, and then two, getting Bungie to be the main source of your live service. Just trying to
Have
chase the
them teach
lives.
other studios. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I honestly think I think they were probably because when did they buy Bungie?
It was. I don't. Let me look it up.
When did Sony buy Bungie?
It was last year. Yeah, July
Last year.
2022. Yep.
Okay. I honestly think they were working with them before then, to be honest with you, because this thing doesn't just happen. And maybe they had some kind of input on factions or something like that nature. I don't fucking know. I don't. I just think this was like a bad move, and no one can predict like the way the economy was going to turn. But we all know one rule: what comes up must come down. And there was just a lot of cash flowing in the gaming industry. Like we were reporting on it, and I'm like, this is very scary. Like we both said that, and
Mm.
I didn't want this to happen, which is happening right now. Like,
Mhm.
um, and maybe this is the crash the industry needed, unfortunately, and that's tough to say when you're not the one losing your job, but like, um,
Mhm.
I think, or it's easy to say rather when you're the one not losing your job. But I think this crash was needed because a lot of these developers were in either creative crunches or creative funks or financial funks, and they were
Yeah.
behooving to their corporations that they had
Mhm.
to create these,
Mm.
lifeless live service games. I wouldn't be surprised if the next live service game, like Square, for instance, right? They're making that Splatoon knockoff, or let's just call it Great Value Splatoon. I wouldn't be surprised if that game dies within like the next when it
Oh,
comes
foam
out.
foam stars, yeah.
Foam Stars, yeah, that game dies because who asked for that game?
People are
So
saying it's fun, but um I don't know. I think that the reality right now is like we've been talking about NPD numbers, the entire life of this show, right? And they have largely not grown a whole lot in the time we've been doing the show. Maybe I want to say it was 10%, maybe since 20, it might be 20%, I think, growth since like 2018 when we started the show. And there's only so much money to go around in the industry, though. This is the problem. It's just I feel like there are too many companies, like too many developers trying to make games, and I don't think there's enough customers for all these companies to exist. Clearly, like we're seeing studios get shut down all the time. So what does that result in? It results in an industry that is afraid to take chances. Makes is investing more into the games they makes to make sure that they sell, and it's working right now. But what happens when that stops working? Like GTA 6, for instance, like people have thrown budget numbers out there for them, like over $1 billion for that fucking game. And it's like, dude, you know how many copies they have to sell to fucking recoup that? That is nutty. That is a nutty amount of money to put into a game. So you're at the start line saying you need to sell 25 million copies just to fucking break even, on your fucking game. That is nuts. That is nuts. And GTA is probably going to get away with it, but what if they didn't? Like what if they didn't? What if it didn't hit? It's like it probably will. It's GTA, but I don't know. And for indies have a significant issue right now too, because getting your game noticed as an indie is becoming extremely difficult, like to an absurd degree, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're a dev on some of these studios too that are shutting down or people getting laid off, like I don't feel like the industry at its core, at the root, is in a good place right now necessarily. We're still getting great games, and good games are coming out, and some companies are doing fine, and some games and some franchises are doing great. It's not all doom and gloom, but I just feel like at the like you've got a beautiful tree, right? Like
mhm.
outwardly above the ground, but below the ground the roots are rotting,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's kind of what I feel like is happening right now. So I don't know.
yeah. I think a lot of these companies just need to break up or not break up. I think a lot of
Contraction. We need contraction,
yeah,
honestly. Like,
yeah.
and maybe, and like literally consolidation is the way that happens, actually. But I'm not advocating for consolidation, but I think it's just there's too many games competing for. There's just not enough people to sustain it all.
Well, there's too many big budgeted games. We have multiple projects that are almost damn near $100 million.
Definitely.
We don't need that because not
That feels
every
like
game
your
is.
starting point for a AAA game now is 100 million.
Yeah, and like that shouldn't be the starting point. The starting point should be 50 million. And that to me, in my opinion, that should be the max. Like we shouldn't have to have these super big budgeted games. And I know people will toss out, well, guys, if you want the better graphics, if you want this and that and third, and you want the bug testing and everything, and it's like there's ways that you can make these games. I I still think Nintendo is like one of the greatest developers of all time. They're making these high quality games at fractions of the budgets. And it's not even close. We see the we saw the numbers. They're even bragging the numbers on their website right now. And they're not closing any studios.
Yeah.
Well, at least that I haven't heard. They may have done it in the silence, but they haven't announced anything. So who's right here? You know what I'm saying? Like, and Nintendo has not hundreds, but they're working with a lot of third party studios to make games and everything of that nature. So I don't know, bro. Like, where are we supposed to go from here? I mean, what are these other companies supposed to do? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think contraction is the best way to go. And what I want is less first party stuff and more third party stuff. Like, I want more, or second party, I guess it would be called. But like, I want more middleware games, more middle tier games, double A games, because to me, those always had the best ideas. Whether they failed or they succeeded, it was a lot of good ideas behind those projects. And Bungie used to be that guy, but to me, they've gotten too big for their own good. And maybe they don't have the same leadership they used to have back in the day. Maybe these are just a whole bunch of suits that run Bungie now, and it's not the same Bungie we knew. I mean, of course, it's probably true, but we don't know for sure. But maybe that's what the case is. Like, they're just making moves. And you said it last week, with these layoffs and everything like that. A lot of these like higher up people are, maybe they did work from the ground up and now they're ready to retire, and now they're just trying to get a good payout so they can be comfortable when they get out.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's good for them, and I'm glad they're getting their money, but it's like also terrible for the industry because a lot of these lower level people are suffering because of that, you know? So
yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll keep our eye on it for sure. I mean, this push and pull between Sony and Microsoft is endlessly fascinating to me. So we will certainly continue to cover it on the show. But yeah, I mean, anything else you want to say on that one?
I will say, the gaming community in general is super quiet about this. I haven't seen that one tweet come across my timeline about this at all.
The only thing I've seen is the Bungie stuff. There's a lot of reactions to the Bungie layoffs.
You know what? You're right. There were a lot of reactions to Bungie layoffs. I will say that. Because I was going to say,
no.
If this was Microsoft, oh my God, it would be all on my Twitter, bro. Microsoft, see, I told you guys, Microsoft's the worst company in the world, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, let's have that same energy for both companies. But anyway.
Well, the one thing on Microsoft, too, I forgot to mention is the timing of Phil... oh my God, sorry, not Phil, Pete Hines' departure from Bethesda. Interestingly timed with this reorg.
That is true. That is true. Maybe
that is not a coincidence, guys. Yeah. Don't try to pretend that's a coincidence, because it's fucking not.
I think they gave him a choice. Gave him a choice.
Yeah, I think he didn't like where they were going to put him. So
yeah,
he said, "Nah, I'm done. I'm out. See you later." So, all right, Montrell, let's move on. We got a couple more stories to get through. More Sony stuff. So, God of War Ragnarok DLC. This has been rumored for a while. With the success of the game, even though originally they weren't planning on doing it, it sounds like it is happening. And there's a rumor that we're going to see it soon, potentially at the VGAs. But the thing with this one is, it's not just might not just be a DLC. It's gotten so big that it might be a Miles Morales type standalone game. So and it will likely center around Atreus, if that is if this is coming and it's that size. So Montrell, what does that interest you at all? Would you be interested in playing a Miles Morales style interstitial game in God of War's universe?
Yeah, I think Atreus needs something like that to establish himself as a character, and I think Spiderman did it really well with Miles Morales, and I think Atreus will. God of War Ragnarok Atreus.
Yeah, I mean, what? Yeah, that's. I was gonna say that. Like, are we gonna continue to call this God of War? I mean, you must, I guess, for obvious branding reasons, right? For name recognition. But dude, it's like not like Kratos might not even be in it. You know,
I guess technically he's the son of God of War, so they could call it Son of the God.
Son of the God of War, Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so they could do that, or something like
Mhm.
that, or like heir to the God of War or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Um, I think it would still be cool though. I think I said that when we did like our spoiler cast on the show that I would like to see a Miles Morales style game with just Atreus because I think his moveset's very interesting and way different from Kratos, and I would like to see how different his gameplay can be if he had his own like thing.
Bro, there's a lot of people that hated the Atreus gameplay in Ragnarok, which I found surprising because I thought it was finely executed. I didn't ever
I
really have a
I
big
I think
problem
they
with
don't
it.
like the sections, like the story elements.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what they have the complaints
Or
about.
that they were too long. Yeah.
Yeah, well, primarily like with the I think his combat is really cool. I just didn't like his puzzles and stuff like that. I thought they were like really time consuming and not hard.
hmm
So I don't know.
I don't really remember them well enough to speak to it too much, but I don't remember hating his gameplay. It's just there's certain parts of his sections of the game that are fucking brutal, like when you're with what's her name? Angerboda.
Yeah,
Like that shit was obnoxious, but and there are other sections of the game like that with him, but his gameplay specifically I think was fun. Like his combat was good. Playing as him
yeah,
was significantly different from Kratos
yeah. I liked it
in
too.
a good way.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was really cool.
So, I don't know. But well, if that's true, we're going to be hearing about it in about a month. So, we'll see. The VGAs are going to be interesting because right now, Sony, like, dude, we know very little about Sony's upcoming lineup next year, and it's possible there is no upcoming lineup next year.
I
Uh,
100% think there isn't a lineup for them.
yeah, like I think it's just Wolverine from Insomniac, which is like, dude, Insomniac's just holding up PlayStation right now, like they are Atlas, basically, um, holding up the earth. And so I mean, we got to hear something soon at the VGAs or something before the end of the year, I would think. I guess they could realistically probably go till February, um, and stretch it that long because they do have Helldivers 2 coming out around that time. I guess you would consider that a first party. It's not a first party title, but you could consider it. It is an exclusive, um, so that might be something they're thinking about. That they're going to keep that game will keep them going for now, and they don't need to say anything. But I just don't like because I'm kind of with you right now. I'm actually moderately concerned that there really is going to be nothing next year, and even Wolverine might not happen. I could see that getting delayed. You know. And I mean, that would mean that 2025, 2026 are probably going to be pretty badass from a first party perspective, in theory, but man, I don't know. Can Sony really afford right now to not have a first party game in 2024?
I think
It
they're
seems
I
crazy.
think they're really far ahead where they can afford it. If I was
Yeah.
Microsoft though, this would be 2025 2024 to 2025, nothing but hits being released.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, this God of War DLC too could be their way of trying to, fill some space a little bit.
yeah.
Cuz Miles Morales was insanely successful for them, like absurdly successful. Way more than they probably thought it was going to be. And cuz I mean, dude, that game is still on the charts
I
now,
know,
like
right?
every month, and it's like it's been out for 3 years now. Yeah, 3 years.
But we
um
also have to consider, right? This is also the Wii Sports effect.
mhm,
Miles Morales, like I bought my PlayStation with a bundle. It is bundled with
yeah,
the PlayStation 5.
yeah, but that's not true anymore. That hasn't been true since the fucking console came out. So like for a while, it's been a while since that was true, and it's still on the charts pretty consistently. So I don't know. I think it's selling pretty well because it is interesting that they Sony, when they talk about numbers for Spider-Man, they combine Miles Morales in the first game together. They don't separate their numbers out. And it kind of makes me think that Miles Morales is sold close to the first game's numbers, which maybe Sony looks at as embarrassing in some way because it's like a significantly shorter game. But I don't know, like why else would they combine the numbers together? I don't know. but because they're not the same game, they're literally different games. I know it takes place on the same map. There's a lot of asset reuse and stuff like that, but it is literally a different game. So
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they are doing that because they're embarrassed. Why would they be embarrassed by that though?
I don't know why they'd be embarrassed by that though. Like, would that validate? Like, are they afraid it's going to validate people who are like us, who are like, "Oh, I want shorter games." You don't need to make every game 100 hours. It's like I don't know.
Well,
Prove some theory they don't
there.
want proven.
So there are bundles still, right? I just looked it up just to make sure I wasn't talking about the side of my ass.
Yeah, but you're talking about GameStop specifically, right? Because not every retailer was doing that.
No, Newegg has the bundle as well.
Okay, but are they a major hardware seller?
No, they're not.
Fucking Newegg, like, come on, dude. Like, they're PC part store.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it is a validation of like, we want shorter games, and we're not kidding type deal. Like, yeah, I want shorter games, man. Like that game was a really cool game. It was 20 hours max.
Not even.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was perfect. It was a weekend game.
Yeah, and I liked it, man. I still like that
Yeah.
game.
I love that. I think it's my favorite one, to be honest. Like, after as far as I am in and two, like, I kind of think Miles might be my favorite one, actually, because not only is it the shortness of the game, but I like the setting, or the time of year where the game is set in the winter in New York is an awesome setting for a video game.
Yeah.
And I think it actually does a lot of work for that game, in a way that like kind of carries it a little bit. And I don't think 1 and 2 have that same vibe, I guess.
Yeah, they don't have the same like seasonal vibe. I actually like when games like focus on a very specific season, and I
Yeah.
think God of War Ragnarok is really carried by the snow.
Yeah. Well, the Division did that too. Remember, like that. It was. It was. All the Christmas decorations were up in a quote apocalypse. And it's like,
yeah, and you know what? The vibe was totally different in Division 2, and I really didn't. And it
didn't.
The
vibe. I didn't like it either. It didn't work.
But it also took place in a different city too. It took place in Washington D.C., which I think was a terrible place.
Worse place for definitely. No, New York was perfect for the Division.
Yeah, and I don't know. Okay, I know we're not talking about the Division, but one more thing about the Division, they could have expanded New York so much where Division 2 took place on the other side in like Jersey or some shit, or maybe Boston, and like expanded it or something like that. I don't fucking know.
We had like an actual world map.
Yeah, man. Like, but why fucking DC? Like, I get it. You want to go where the president used to be at, but it's like, bro, why you go? I mean, okay, I ain't gonna say nobody give a fuck about DC. A lot of people give a fuck about DC, but it's like Washington or New York. In that area, the tri-state area is just so crazy. Like, you could have expanded that to where we're actually doing the city of New York, like traveling the city of New York, and that could have just been Destiny, the Division 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I am hoping they do like a 20-hour Atreus game. I don't want to see Kratos. I want to focus on Atreus. And maybe that leads into the next God of War game or whatever. Or maybe it closes out the series. I don't know. Well, they're not going to close
He's
the
going
series.
to Egypt.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, my God. I just feel like this shit's going to get milked.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Dude, God of War's already been milked, bro. We're on game, what, like 9? Series, 10.
This one though, this one gets.
Yeah, milked. I know, but it's still God of War. It's the same fucking franchise.
They're gonna take it to like fucking. You know what? I actually would like to see it in Indian culture.
He's gonna fight Anubis.
You can
fight like Shiva.
Yeah, fight Shiva or like Ashura.
Her name is. Ashura,
yeah. Because like that mythology is like really actually badass. So I would like to see.
I don't think they would. They would go Egypt before they went there.
We already did Egypt. I mean, not in God of War, but like everywhere else, bro. Like everyone knows.
Assassin's Creed did Egypt, so
yeah, that's so whack. But yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right, Montrell, let's move on to our final story. And I know you're so fucking excited about this one. You sent it to me and DJ. It was a new Kingdom Hearts trailer, and it's a highly anticipated game coming out of Square Enix, and it is a GPS action RPG called Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, and it is a mobile game, baby. Let's go.
It actually looks
Get
okay.
excited.
It
You
actually
know,
looks decent.
of course it does. But dude, it's a dude. I went and researched this after you sent it, and there's a high likelihood this is a gacha game. Like it's a because they closed their Kingdom Hearts gacha game, Unity Cross, I believe is what it was, a couple years ago. So they need a new one now, bro. They got to get that cash cow.
It's just so. I'm not okay. It looks cool, right? But you know, I always say shit looks cool, and I don't play it. And then we both do this.
We both do it.
And it's Kingdom Hearts, and like the combat looks. They actually have like gameplay footage in the trailer.
Yeah.
So it looks like Kingdom Hearts for sure. You can do combos and everything of that nature. It looks like a cross between regular Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts. What was the card one? The card based one. They actually did a
Chain of
remake.
Memories.
Yeah, Chain of Memories. It looks like a cross between that. But man, I was looking at the comments, bro. I was looking on Twitter.
Yeah.
And, oh my god, this is coming from an ex Kingdom Hearts like fanboy. Like you talk about me, like you being into Kingdom Hearts, Justin, bro. I used to watch like on YouTube. Like the little fan made little AMV videos and all the little theories, and I played almost every Kingdom Hearts game, bro, except for like you know, Chain Cross and everything of that nature. But or Union Cross rather. I didn't play that one because I didn't even know about it.
It was
I had Chain of Memories when it was on the cell phone, like the regular cell phone game. A lot of people don't remember that game, but I had it when it was on there. And then it went to GBA or no Game Boy Color, and I had it on a Game Boy Color and everything of that nature. Only one I didn't play was 365 over whatever. That's the only one I regret not playing. And I forgot why I missed that one.
365 over 2.
Yeah, 365 over 2.
It was on DS. That's probably why.
Oh yeah, and I didn't have a DS. I went from the PSP to 3DS.
Square Enix was intent on putting every game on a different platform for a while there.
Yeah.
Which actually, I mean, they're still kind of doing that now because there was that rhythm game on Switch. They got this on mobile now. Like, I mean, they're doing it again. Like, dude, no, this.
Let me finish, right?
Yeah.
So like, I was that 14 or 15 or 16 or 17 or 18 or 19 or 20-year-old, right? Into this series. I get it, y'all. I get it. And I see these kids on Twitter and the YouTube comments. And I'm like, oh my God, y'all, stand up for yourselves. Don't do it. Don't buy into it, bro. Like, leave the franchise alone. I understand the music gets you. You hear it. Oh, and you hear.
Oh, that woman has got a great voice, bro. Like she is the perfect.
You hear the music come on. You see Mickey. You hear Sora, you know, you see all the music, the Keyblade. I get it, bro. I still get it today. The chills still come back to me. I still get it. I still get it, you know. But y'all gotta stand up. Y'all cannot be hyping this game up. People are so hyping the
dude. They are. I'm looking at the sidebar on my YouTube, and there's like this like reaction videos and shit. And, like these people are losing their mind, and they're like, there's somebody in the comments, missing link is no longer missing. Let's go. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? What is this? Like, what the fuck? Like, dude, in this trailer is literally a fucking line in here. Like, what bullshit is Nomura coming up with to make these fucking games up now? It's literally, says this in the trailer, a blank era severed from history. Like, we're getting the dregs now, boy. Like, how are people so excited about? Like, I'm thinking about this while you're talking, and I'm like, what does this remind me of? And I'm like, this series at this point in video games is like a corollary to me of the MCU. Like, Kingdom Hearts 3 was like if Endgame was really shitty, you know, and I think that's the way my brain has compartmentalized it because I don't care anymore.
That's exactly.
In the same way I don't care about the MCU, you know? And it's like, I think at this point I might dive into a game here and a game there, you know? Like the same way I do with the movies in the MCU. And that's it. I'm not I'm not a fanboy for this anymore. Like they broke it, dude. And I think you're in the same boat, you know?
Yeah, I
Like,
am. It's
yeah.
just when I hear the music though, I just like
You get the chills, right?
I
Yeah.
totally get it, and that's
Yeah.
why I say like that's why I'm speaking to like the younger Kingdom Hearts fans. I totally get where y'all at. Like I get it, bro. You hear the fucking music, you see the light, you hear darkness. You don't even it don't even have to be about. Like I think now, light and dark is just associated with Kingdom Hearts now. Like people don't
Yeah.
even think about Star Wars anymore. It's Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts, you know.
Oh, for sure.
And I
Definitely.
get it. And I get it. And I know all these people who are like in the comments right now who are like, yeah, travel the world without stepping aside. Nemora's favorite line in the trailer, I guess. Let's go. Like he's hyped, bro. He's hyped. And I get it.
Why are they so hyped? It's a mobile game.
Because he's
such a game, dude. Like you're gonna
15. That's why he's probably 14 or 15, bro.
Oh my god, man! They're using the PS2 engine still in this game. That's what it looks like to me. Like it's,
bro.
Oh.
I just saw the comment you just said. Missy Link is no longer Missy. Let's go.
Dude, there's a YouTube video on the sidebar with that exact title too. Like everybody thinks they're so clever. Dude, why are they so hyped? I'm like, I keep going down. There isn't a negative comment to be seen, dude. These people are fucking thirsty. Like,
Justin, remember when you were a Kingdom Hearts fan?
Yeah.
In every Kingdom Hearts game that came out, you were like, oh my god. Like,
okay, you know what, Montrell, I'll tell you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying every Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer or every Kingdom Hearts 3 rumor, you were on the edge of your seat, and this is before I even knew you. I knew you were on the edge of your seat, bro.
No, bro, no, it wasn't Kingdom Hearts 3. I'll be honest. I've been on a decline with Kingdom Hearts for a long time.
Okay,
I will give you the moment where I was this person. And I don't know, maybe you can share yours when I'm done. But it was the secret movie that came out of Kingdom Hearts 2, I want to say. The one where it is the birth by sleep fight in the Keyblade graveyard.
Oh my god! And you saw it on YouTube, and you thought that was
yes, and it was all grainy, and it was like somebody was recording with like the worst fucking camera from like 1984, you know. But bro, that trailer, when I found that trailer on YouTube, because I did not find it when it first came out. It took me a long time to find it. When I found it, and I was like, oh my god, is this Kingdom Hearts 3? Dude, for fucking years, I was hyped out of my mind about that trailer. I was like, bro, if this is where they're taking the series, like this is gonna be so fucking sick, man. Like, oh my god, like there's gonna be like a Keyblade war and all these people, and they're gonna kill each other and stuff, and like people are gonna die. Sora's gonna die, bro. And I was like so fucking hyped. And then I found out it was Birth by Sleep, and I loved that game, nonetheless. Yeah. But that was kind of the moment though where I got a little disenfranchised because I got tricked, you know, like I got tricked by the marketing, and it worked. And then I was like, I played that, and then I played Dream Drop Distance on 3DS, and I didn't like the game at first.
I loved it.
And I took a humongous hiatus from Kingdom Hearts for like 5 years after that. I don't think I played a single Kingdom Hearts game between 2012 and 2017.
Dream Drop Distance was the last game I played. Yeah. That was before the collections came out.
Yeah, if you remember, there wasn't a release between those years, really, like a new game. There was just the collections. And I played the collections on PS4 in 2017 all the way through. I played from back to front every single game.
Yeah.
And that was in preparation for Kingdom Hearts 3. I was kind of getting myself reprimed on the series and everything. And I loved it. It was a super enjoyable ride for me. And it actually, like, Dream Drop's one of my favorite games in the whole franchise now after playing that shit.
Yeah, that's what I
But that, and then when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and it was as shitty as it was, especially from a story perspective, like I put all those pieces together and I just came out of it like, why do I even care about this? This isn't even good. Like it's never been good. Why do I think it's good? You know, it's like, I'm not saying don't enjoy it. You can all enjoy it, and I'm probably going to enjoy it someday in the future. I'll come back to Kingdom Hearts. I'm not saying I won't, but But dude, the thing I thought about was because when I finished Kingdom Hearts 3, and what really pissed me off about it, like all the story beats that were kind of missed, and I'm like, why am I so angry about this? This is coming from like, how did I like? Because when I played through the collections, I played them in order, and then I watched, 365 over 2 days or whatever the fuck it was, that one and that shit, and in that game. 365 over 2 or whatever the fuck what the fuck was that game called?
Let's just call it 365 right
Kingdom
now.
Hearts 365. It was 365 over 2. Okay.
Yeah.
So that one is a movie in the collection. You don't get to play the game. They didn't remake the game.
They couldn't find the source files for it.
Right. So they didn't remake the game. They just remade all the cutscenes. But I remember watching that, and it was about 3 to 4 hours of cutscenes. I remember watching that and thinking to myself, didn't this come out after Kingdom Hearts 2? And the answer to that question is yes. It came out 3 years after Kingdom Hearts 2. And it is literally a prologue to Kingdom Hearts 2. It literally goes to the exact moment at the beginning of the game. Like it ends where Kingdom Hearts 2 fucking begins. And it came out 3 years after Kingdom Hearts 2. And I'm like, this is essential context for the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2. And it came out 3 years later. So why am I so hung up on this fucking series? Why do I care so much about the story? This shit has never made sense. No more as a fucking crazy person. Like, when it comes to making these games stories, he's releasing this shit out of order in a way that makes no sense. Remember, Kingdom Hearts 2, when it came out, everybody fucking hated it. Nobody liked the beginning of the game. The first 3 hours, no one liked.
That's true.
It was all that was always the criticism. And the reason we look back on it now is because he made a whole fucking game with context beforehand that explains everything that happens in Kingdom Hearts 2 in the first 3 hours. Like, it's
the problem was too, right? A lot of people didn't play Chain of Memories. Chain of Memories leads right into Kingdom Hearts,
but it doesn't explain, dude.
It doesn't explain Roxas. It
explains Sora's side of things. It does not explain Roxas at all.
It doesn't explain Roxas at all, and I understand that. I understood it because my brother was the same way you were, right? He loved Kingdom Hearts, but he didn't play it like I did, right?
Yeah.
So when I played Chain of Memories, I was upset too because I didn't understand who Roxas was. And then once I got to the basement and you find Sora sleeping or whatever, and I'm like, oh shit, this is right where Chain of Memories left off. I was hyped again, and then they started to explain what nobodies were, and then I understood, okay, I think they explained it in Kingdom Hearts 2 that Roxas is Sora's nobody, right? Do they?
Yeah, they do that in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay.
But they don't. It's just so.
But then you go to the world that never was. Is that what that world called? Or the world after tomorrow? Yeah, the world that never was. And then they're like,
there's all these
Axel. Yeah, you got all these cryptic like conversations.
The flashbacks. Dude, the flashbacks take place in 365 over 2. Like, they literally take place, and they're showing you, dude, that's why I am convinced that he wrote the story for 365 over 2 before Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. Like, I'm convinced he had that all written down, and he just couldn't get the capital to make a game, and he didn't want to make that game Kingdom Hearts 2. Or he didn't want to make it a part of Kingdom Hearts 2 because it was too much to put into Kingdom Hearts 2. So he had like an overarching like plot for what happened beforehand, and he didn't have a way to he didn't get to make it before he had to make Kingdom Hearts 2. So like, that's why it's just, the game is, because dude, I tell you guys right now, go on YouTube, watch the flashbacks with Roxas and Axel, and then go watch those same scenes happen in 365 over 2. Like, and there's context all around them about like their friendship and what they're doing and who they are and all that shit. Like,
this is fucking YouTube history we're giving y'all. If you can find it, I mean, the way YouTube search algorithm works, you may not never find it, but you have to type in specific words.
Good luck.
You can find the YouTube videos where it says Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, and it's literally the Birth by Sleep trailer.
It's the Birth by Sleep secret movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Because they don't say anything. Nobody says anything in the trailer. That's why it was so cryptic, but it was this awesome fight scene,
in Kingdom Hearts 2, did you go to the key art, the key glade?
No,
Okay, okay.
no, and you don't know who, like, that Xehanort that you see in that trailer. You don't know that that's the Xehanort you're chasing, like, because there's no voice lines or anything in that trailer. So it's just an old dude with a keyblade, and then what's his fucking name, the dude in the black suit that looks like Sora, and then there's the three protagonists of Birth by Sleep who you don't see them either. They're in their armor, you know.
Yeah.
So you don't see who any of these characters are, but they're all armored up and they have this awesome badass battle. And that trailer is in the game Birth by Sleep. It's literally like the main crux of the final act of the game. Like, so, but
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
and I was like, and I was hyped for that too. I was like, wow, there were so many Keyblade masters, and now they're all dead. Like, what the fuck happened? Like, was this some kind of mass exodus or something?
Also, why did the Keyblades go there? You know, like, why are all the
Yeah.
Keyblades there? You know, all that stuff. Like, they don't ever explain that either, really.
Oh, they don't do they?
Not really.
Actually,
I think Xehanort has like a monologue about it in Birth by Sleep, and
I think Union Cross explains what
yes,
happened to all
that's
those Keyblades.
right. You're right. And there is the movie also that they made, the Union Cross movie, that's animated.
Oh yeah, that's
Do you remember
true.
that? Did you ever watch
Yeah,
that? Because
I
that was
didn't
in the
watch
collection
that.
too.
I didn't watch that one.
Okay.
I should go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Because I think it was some major event that happened that caused that Keyblade graveyard to happen.
Yeah.
Because like even I remember when we were playing Kingdom Hearts 3, that character, I think the character that's actually in this trailer, I think he shows up.
Yeah.
That's in the Kingdom Hearts Missing Link trailer. He shows up, and I remember like deep cut Kingdom Hearts fans like, yo, this is crazy. And then like you see all the usernames going off when you're throwing the Keyblades.
It's the Union Cross players, yes.
Yeah. So I thought,
yeah, because at the end
man.
of Union Cross, I believe the way Union Cross ended was the giant Keyblade War, and like there's tons of people who die. You know, these Keyblade masters.
And that would have been so cool if like the payoff was worth it. I think if I was a Keyblade, I mean, I am a Kingdom Hearts fan, but like I don't know, man. I can't believe he got away with it. Like he got away with it.
He totally got away with it. Dude, we are an outlier in such a real extreme way, dude. Like talking about Kingdom Hearts. I feel like I'm on an island, bro. Like I'm afraid of the day that we ever have like any penetration on the internet, because dude, if our takes about Kingdom Hearts 3 get out there, like we are going to get fucking filleted alive, like straight up.
That payoff should have been way better than what it was, bro. It was,
yeah, dude.
You know what it was? It was the first 20 hours of the game. I feel like if that shit was cut down to like 10 hours, I think the last 5 hours of the game would have been like better.
That's I know. I just think it's the cop out. Like nothing bad happened to anyone ultimately. Like everybody got away fine. Everyone's happy. Xehanort was defeated. You know, fucking Sora doesn't have to have any introspection whatsoever. He's just Goku in this universe. Like he just saves everybody. You know, Riku's fucking Vegeta, and you know, fucking like.
Then he gets transported to the other world, the real world.
Yes, the real world, right? And I mean, like, this is my point about why I don't really care at this point. Like, I'm not like excited about anything Kingdom Hearts or like Kingdom Hearts 4 or anything like that. I'm like, I'm sure it'll be a fun game. I'm gonna play it. There'll be fucking Disney characters. It'll be a Kingdom Hearts game,
bro,
you know.
I don't want to do the Kingdom Hearts 2 thing. I don't want to play. I don't want to have to play the little fucking. This game, I don't want to have to play. Well, I'm probably.
That's exactly. I don't. You know,
it's play the fucking rhythm game. I don't want to have to play those games.
Don't care for like 10 minutes of lore. I'm good.
Like I'm one good. Level, and it's like. And then after I finished Kingdom Hearts 3, it was like we didn't know what was in the fucking box, and I'm like, bro. Why are we doing this again?
Oh yeah, what's his name? Fucking yeah. Well, no, and I think this is the other thing about Kingdom Hearts. It's starting to really like get on my nerves a little bit. Is all of the subterfuge around reveals and sub reveals and another sub reveal, because you know the guy, the what's his fucking name? Braig, I think, the character that uses the crossbows, or whatever, and he's like in Birth by Sleep, he's Xehanort's assistant or like henchman or whatever. And then in Kingdom Hearts 2, he's a nobody, and then in Kingdom Hearts 3, he's still a nobody, but he's now some other guy from a really long time ago, and he has this black box, and he's like it's just like, dude, like.
And then Pete and Maleficent are still looking for the black box. They somehow know the mystery. It's just like, I'm like, bro,
They're just
like,
dragging shit out. It just feels like it's just dragging things out. Like I don't feel like
why I was so
there's
scared.
no payoff coming anymore. Like, I don't believe
this is
that.
why I was so scared for Final Fantasy VII. I was like, oh,
yeah,
I'm about to get what we had to get.
Right. Well, dude, we're still at risk of that. Don't lie to people. Like we got one game. It was really solid. It was Kingdom Hearts 1 in Final Fantasy terms, except way better, realistically. Yeah. He delivered on the intro, and this second game I think is also going to be really good. But the payoff in the third game, I have a severe questions about the payoff ultimately of all of this. Is he gonna stick the landing? I don't know. I don't trust them, dude.
This is what I think, bro. I think the second game is going to be a better version of Kingdom Hearts 2. You're not going to have to play like 5 different games to get it. But I think the third game, like you said, is going to be the Kingdom Hearts 2 of Final Fantasy VII. I think there are going to be like 3 spin-off games. No lie. I legitimately think there are going to be like 3 spin-off games. We're going to get a Vincent. They're going to make a Vincent game.
They're going to make the Dirge of Cerberus, remake. Yeah.
We're probably going to get some kind of like weird Final Fantasy VII other game. Like maybe it's a RTS game or some kind of mobile game or something of that nature. And yeah, it's probably another one more other game. And you have to know, you have to play those games to get what's going on. And I don't know that Final Fantasy EverQuest game or Eververse or whatever the fuck it's called. Ever Crisis. Like, I'm kind of scared. It's like, is that part of the main Final Fantasy? Or
dude, this is the problem with Final Fantasy VII right now. Is like there's so many like there's the original timeline, then there's the new timeline, and then there's other games like Ever Crisis that might be in a third timeline. Like I don't. That's the problem with it right now. Is like they can't make too many spin-off games because it's going to be too confusing for people to even keep track of. Like which game is tied to which timeline, and fucking I don't know.
Okay, I think it says a compilation of Final Fantasy VII, a series of media spin-offs from the 1997 game. So I think this is like a remake of the original timeline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
it's like the Final Fantasy 15 little chibi game they made.
Yeah.
That kind of like summarizes the story. Yeah. It's not as in depth, but it's its own game at the same time.
But like, Sephiroth has short hair in this game. I can't do this.
God, bro, these comments are sending me, dude. Like,
he's doing it again, bro. Who is this Sephiroth? There's literally a short hair Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's doing it again.
It's a different Sephiroth. It's young god. Sephiroth. He can't keep getting away with it. Oh my god, he's Walter White, man. Oh my god. It's fucking criminal, dude.
He's like sitting there like, this is all about me. And it's like, no,
Oh my god, dude. I think Kingdom Hearts is a collective acid trip. I think that's where we're at right now. Like we're all living through it right now. Dude, I mean, some of these comments are just insane. Like, dude, like this person goes, look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is a mobile game. Like, what do you mean? like, what is this game doing, bro? Like, it's solving world hunger. Like, what? How can you be this excited about a spin-off mobile game? I don't understand. Oh my god, dude. Oh,
Dude,
this is
no,
like,
bro. The way you know what, Justin,
yeah,
just mobile games in general. I would no longer talk shit about you because, bro, like I was in a Discord yesterday playing with my friend, and the
yeah,
way they were, I thought they were talking about like Magic the Gathering or something, and
yeah,
they're like, no, we're talking
yeah.
about this one anime mobile game, and I'm like, they were talking about strategy. It had guilds, and I'm like, bro, this is for a fucking mobile
Macho,
game.
this is what I'm talking, dude. You don't want anything to do with this shit, dude. Like, do not. I tell you, for the love of God, all of you listening, Montrell, you too, none of you, do not touch Honkai Star Rail. Don't touch Genshin Impact. Do not play a gacha game. Don't play this fucking Kingdom Hearts game. You will get sucked in to the most degenerate gaming communities you have ever seen in your fucking life. You think League of Legends meta shit is toxic? You guys have no fucking clue, okay? Go into the Genshin Impact Reddit. I'm telling you, and look up their tier list, meta tier list discussions. These people are fucking deranged. Like,
No,
no joke.
they were talking about strategies. I don't even know what the characters. They told me the game, but it's not a game that you play. It's another like
Yeah.
gotcha game or whatever. And they were
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh yeah, and Fang, he powers them up, and
Yeah. Oh
he
yeah.
powers them up.
Yep.
He also boosts this one
Oh yeah.
person, so you can actually do
Yep.
auto battle with this person because this person powers this person up, but that person also does this, and that person can tank it, and they can do
Oh
auto
my
battle all
god,
the heal
dude.
because actually this person they if you have them on AI, they will
Yeah.
automatically heal the fastest person. So that's how you know if that character is the fastest. The AI will do it. I'm like, bro, what?
You've
What?
got to win. You got to window into it, man. This is the degeneracy I'm talking about, bro. It's like gotcha games are a fucking disease, like in the video game industry, and I am infected, unfortunately. Like I know it. I'm sorry. I apologize for who I am. Like I I don't want to be this way.
Bro,
But
and you got and not to put like a stereotype on anybody, but like I'm pretty sure people are thinking like, oh well, these guys, like the like those guys in the fucking basement. Like, no, this guy fucking works out. He's jacked as fuck. Like he's big as fuck. He works the fuck out.
I
He's
love
a
this
power
picture.
lifter.
Oh my god, dude! He's
And
like he does a set, and he's like, oh, I can see it. He finishes a set, pulls the phone out, and does a battle real quick, before the next one. Like that's how he rests between them. I can see it. I totally.
He's like, I do the auto battles in between sets. No joke. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
Yes, dude. Oh my god. Oh, I love it. We're fucking broken, man. Like we're totally broken people. Like, no, this is what I'm talking about. What this is why I say like there's something wrong with me. Why do I get this into these kind of games when I could put this energy into like amazing single player games, like Baldur's Gate or something. Like figuring out that shit. Like this is the point I'm at with video games. I don't even want to play Baldur's Gate 3 because I'm so afraid to get into the meta of that game. I don't want to. Like I don't want to do it because it's going to ruin the game for me, and because I'm so used to this shit with like Honkai. Dude, listening to people talk about Honkai and Genshin meta makes me want to fucking throw up. Like it is the most I feel crumpled inside when I hear people talk about it because it is so dumb. Especially in Genshin, in a game where there is nothing. There is nothing in that game that's challenging. Dude, I like at the investment level my account's at this point in Genshin, I walk around the world map and I use one ability and everything around me is fucking dead. It's like that's how powerful some of my characters are. And I'm not even that, like, my shit's not even that crazy. Like, I'm not at the highest of the high end. Like, I'm not even close to that.
Yeah, you're not super optimal. There are probably
can you imagine going higher than that? Like, I'm talking orders of magnitude, by the way, Montreal. Like, there are people who have, like, my characters are probably a third as strong as some of these other people. And, like, can you imagine having a character 3 times as strong? And I just told you I obliterate everything with one ability. They're doing it in one hit. That's how strong their characters are. And it's the most pointless fucking penis measuring contest I've ever seen in a game because like the multiplayer component of this game is so dumb. It makes no sense. It doesn't even function within the framework of what the game is trying to do, in terms of the mechanics and the way the systems work. And number two, nobody cares. Nobody can see your characters. Like, you can post it on Reddit, get all your little fucking karma farm and whatever the fuck you want. Like, it's a single player game at the end of the day, though. It's like, I don't know why it's such a huge thing, because it's happening in Honkai as well, obviously. And I will say Honkai is like a little harder than Genshin. Like, it actually has more difficult content because it's a turn-based game. It kind of has to, as a result, because the gameplay is not nearly as engaging. But it's just like, dude, like, hearing people talk about, like, they just badmouth these characters. Like, they're like, oh, like, there's one, for instance, that I have, like, Jing Yuan, right? He's like a laughing stock character within the game's meta. People are like, oh, Jing Yuan mains are fucking crying every patch because, like, the characters are getting stronger and stronger, and he just, like, he quote sucks or whatever. And I have him, and dude, I've beat everything in the game with him basically at this point that I'm capable of beating with my account. Like, he's not a bad character. It's just he's not as good relative to these other ones, and it's just like this meme though that's going around. Like, I don't know. More comments out of this video that are making me fucking laugh here. Yes, finally, I'm excited for 2024. Like, how depressed are you, dude? Like, oh my god. I beg you, like, go outside, make friends, find other interests that aren't Kingdom Hearts.
No,
like,
I see it all on my timeline, bro. They, people love these gacha games, but specifically like Kingdom Hearts before the Union Cross thing. I used to see people. It was particularly this one girl I used to follow. And this is like before Diana, so I'm not doing anything. I had a big crush on her, and she used to play Union Cross all the time and post screenshots of it before it got shut down or whatever. And I was just like, I don't get it. I don't get it, man. It's just Kingdom Hearts fans. Like, I mean, I know that's like across the board mobile fans, but like in general, I'm talking about my people, my Kingdom Hearts people. I get it, y'all, but I gotta let it go, bro. Y'all have to let it go. I just found a comment you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh no,
I know,
keep scrolling.
I know
it's
something
bad.
amazing has been missing for a while. So it was Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. It's nice that this is coming to mobile on Android/iOS next year in 2024. Square Enix makes a good surprise. Can't wait to play this new Kingdom Hearts for the before Kingdom Hearts 4. And he has a whole bunch of emojis.
Oh,
Are these bots?
Probably. I mean, I found the one negative comment, and this person is channeling my energy right now. Beautiful game, but I won't spend $30 weekly to do a bunch of missions and then wait a month, so I need to spend another $30 because my gacha pieces became obsolete to power creep. Like, that's literally what these games are. That's what they are, dude. That is what they are. Like, it's wild shit. I don't know why we're so susceptible to it.
Then somebody said off topic, but wait a minute. And he has a timestamp. He's like, is a minute and 4 seconds encrypted message? Will Final Fantasy 17 be the original plot to versus 13? Screw Enix, please let Nomura make this game. I'm like, no, we do not need, like,
what the fuck, dude?
Nomura has
these people.
See, this is why I feel like Nomura's like,
no, he's caused a mental illness in an entire generation. Like he has. Like,
because you know what, I really want to go back, and I've actually been thinking about this. Like, I wanted to do like a retrospective on Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
But not in the way of like, why is this game good and why is this game bad? It's really because I really want to understand, why did this capture the hearts of so many teenagers in like 2001?
Yeah.
What was it about this game that, like, because everybody across the board, across races, across tax brackets, environments, we all feel the same thing when that fucking song comes on. I don't get it.
I think it's two things. The original trailer for Kingdom Hearts 1 is extremely fire. The music is excellent. Like it's the Sanctuary song, in the trailer. And
Yeah,
the actual trailer cuts are like, think about the time we were in. This is 2001. I beg you guys, go watch the original Kingdom Hearts 1 trailer. And it is cuts of the story with Riku and Sora and these anime characters mixed with Disney, and you have this music playing. I'm telling you, bro, I think it's literally that trailer like that did it. It got us, and then we played the game, and the game was good, and that's all it took. Once that happened, we were all hooked in. Like, they just needed to make more games. That's all it took. Because yeah, the original Kingdom Hearts 1 trailer is it. That it's an excellent trailer. I remember it to this day. It is burned into my memory. Like, it was so evocative. I remember I'm literally like a fucking like 13-year-old in high school. I'm this fucking nerdy kid. I got the fucking hair part. I look like a fucking nerd, right? And I'm like very shy. I don't I don't really open up to people. And I remember somebody I was sitting next to started talking about Kingdom Hearts in like my history class, and I was like, what? I was like, wait a second.
you know what?
Somebody
That may be what it is, Justin.
like somebody else saw this trailer and thinks it looks cool. I'm not a loser. Like, holy shit. That was the moment for me.
This game connected a lot of people who thought we were in different what's the cliques or whatever.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
there were people who were like who just grew up on strictly Disney stuff, right? And
Yeah.
then like there was a mixed bag of people who grew up on like anime and Disney stuff. And then there were people who just grew up on anime stuff or like video game shit. And this game was like, how about we combine all those elements into one? And then I remember like girls were playing like this is where I'm like I didn't even know girls played video games, you know what I'm saying? And like
Mm-hmm.
this one girl was like, yeah, I play Kingdom Hearts and I loved it and all this other stuff like that. And she like dressed up as Kyrie for her for like Halloween or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, like this game's crazy. And like people were doing like fan arts and everything of Kingdom Hearts. Like it was either Dragon Ball Z or Kingdom Hearts. People were doing fan arts of. I agree with you. I think that's what it is, man. I think this game just combined all three of those elements. Like Disney was super popular back then, like way more. Like it's not the Disney that y'all think of now. Like Disney was like
No,
everybody
this
had a
was
copy.
90s. This was
Yeah,
90s Disney, like with all the animated movies, dude.
yeah, like it was super popular. Like everybody
Well,
had
it
their
had all
own.
the hits, right? It had Aladdin, it had Little Mermaid, it had fucking Hercules, it had fuck, I'm like forgetting the other one. Like it had Captain Hook, like Peter Pan in
Yep,
there as well. Tarzan,
yep,
like I had all of these,
yeah. And these movies back in the '90s were fire, especially
They
Hercules and Tarzan.
yeah, they were phenomenons, dude. Yeah.
And or in Lion King as well. But Lion King wasn't in there until
Kingdom Hearts 2,
Kingdom Hearts
Mulan
2.
also, that was Kingdom Hearts
Mulan,
2.
that was Kingdom Hearts 2. But like Kingdom Hearts 1 had all those fire things. And it's just like, bro, like, how do you compete with that? Like, I don't know, man. I
Well,
still
also
think there's more.
it was such a fever dream idea, right? Like this whole anime cross Disney. The idea that this was even a thing was insane to me. Like I couldn't even
Yeah,
have envisioned this as an idea in my head,
yeah.
Um
I
and the
think
idea that it
combined with
was
the fact that
real, like I mean
yeah,
dude, it was an easy slam dunk. Like
but they
man,
pulled it off. It could have easily failed, and they
yeah.
pulled it off. And on top
That's
of
what I'm
that,
saying. It
the
was
game was kind of
exciting. The trailer was exciting, but then the game was actually good,
yeah.
and
And
that
then the
that
game was
sold
kind
it.
of like emo at the same time, and
Yeah.
everybody was emo around that
Oh
time.
yeah.
This was like when Linkin Park was getting hot and everything
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. Height of emo, probably
Yeah,
2002. Yeah.
peak emo.
Yeah.
These
Definitely.
kids nowadays they don't know emo. They
They
don't
have
know
no
pop.
idea. They don't know shit.
Peak emo.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't
We're
know.
so old. Really, these kids nowadays, they don't know emo like we know emo.
They don't, bro. You remember the girls with like the different
Oh
style
yeah.
hair, like color hair and
Yeah.
shit, and the
Yeah.
black figure? They don't know emo, bro. It's
Yeah.
this is peak. That was peak emo. But
No,
yeah, I
that's like
don't
a
know, man.
subgenre. That's like a subgenre of emo. Like that's not the real thing.
It's not the real thing. It's like what kind of emo is that? I don't even know.
I don't know. The
I was
Woke
highly
emo.
attracted to those. I was highly attracted to those girls when I was
Yeah.
like younger too.
Oh, absolutely. Who wasn't? Come on, man. Like, give me a break. Like,
It was I thought only like white girls could be emo, and then I saw black
yeah.
girls emo too. I was like,
Oh yeah.
oh my god!
You
I was like,
lost it.
hey, I
Yeah, you
love
lost it, bro. You lost it there. Yeah.
yeah.
You were
So
like, my dreams have been unlocked. Oh shit, dude.
yeah, man, fucking Kingdom Hearts, bro. I don't know. Check out the trailer, y'all. I think it's okay. If you like the gotcha games, like Justin said, just be
No,
careful.
don't fuck. Shut up. Stop what you're saying. No. Nobody play this game. Okay, don't fucking touch it. Don't think about it. I told Montrell and DJ I can't do this. I'm not downloading this game. I'm not playing it. I don't care. Like I ain't touching this shit. Like
The Eververse game is already Ever Crisis. I'm sorry, the Ever Crisis game is already a hit, bro.
yeah,
Already a hit. I see it all in my timeline every time. People
yeah.
are playing the fuck out of that game.
That's a single pay game, isn't it?
No, that's a gotcha game.
It's a gotcha game.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I
that's a
didn't
gotcha.
know that.
You
Dude,
can unlock different heroes from different eras.
they're making gotchas out of everything. What the fuck?
That's a gotcha game, bro.
God, we're one step away from the Xenoblade one, dude. Like
That's what I thought. I thought Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was that.
No, they were fucking with us. They were fucking with us, dude. They're testing the waters. They're seeing how people like the little system they had in the game, and yeah, I don't, dude. Oh my god, bro. If I like, I mean, Square Enix is shameful, though. I will say they've made all their franchises a gotcha game at this point, multiple in many cases. So this doesn't surprise me at all. Like they are the most gotcha heavy publisher out there in terms of what they're doing on mobile, but they do have the most gotcha IP though, for sure. At the same time, I mean, dude, the idea of like collecting all these Disney characters and Kingdom Hearts characters, I mean, it's perfect. Like it sells itself. Like you don't even need to make a pitch.
Yeah. So just to confirm, this is a gotcha game. It's free to play. And there's even a whole article about how you can beat Ever Crisis without spending any money.
Yeah.
Or can you do it without spending any money? But yeah, it's a gotcha game. You draw for items.
Yeah.
And you get
wait, what? Like potions?
No, like different weapons. I'm sorry, not items, but different weapons.
So your equipment, of course, it's always the equipment.
Yeah, it's akin to Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah, right. Hoyo versus. They figured that one out. It's very effective. No, that's the thing about Genshin, right? This is why I talk about it being a derangement. This is like derangement because this is a game, right, where the developers have literally come out and said they don't want to make hard content in the game because they don't want to make their players anxious. Like they don't want them to feel like they need to beat it. So if they can't, it's going to feel really bad, right? So they don't want to make any more content like that. So they said that. But then at the same time, their entire business model revolves around the idea of chasing the meta. Like every character that they make is inserted into this meta. And if they're good, people will roll for them. And if they are super good, they'll roll for the weapon too, you know? And Genshin does not give enough currency to roll for both. You have to spend money if you're going to do that shit, you know? And it's such a, I don't, there's something wrong with me. I don't know why I play that fucking game. Like what?
I think your brain is just wired to like, I don't know, maybe hard shit and like, or not hard shit, but like you like complicated.
No,
stuff.
I want to max my strength, right? I'm a min maxer, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how they're getting me.
Facilitate that, yeah.
Yes, 100%. And the reality though is there's no reason to min max in Genshin Impact. Like that's the derangement I'm talking about, you know. And I fully admit my own problem here. But you know, but the thing is, this situation like that, what I'm talking about, meta and this like min max chasing. I mean, it's all over gaming now. Like, dude, I'm still scrolling down the sidebar in this video, right? And I'm still seeing videos. And what do you think I see? A tier list for Baldur's Gate 3 for, guess what? What do you think the tier list is for?
Different characters?
No, level 3 spells. Specifically, just level 3 spells. a tier list on level 3 spells in a D&D. Like, what are we doing, guys? Like, are we so fucking stupid that we can't figure out what spells are good or not in a game? Like what? It's got 22K views too. It's not even like it's a nothing burger video, you know, where it has like 100. No, the people have watched this. Like what? I don't know. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like, gamers are broken. We're broken. We're just broken on the inside.
Well,
I'm convinced of that.
we are. I mean, every game has like a min max thing.
Yeah, there's a meta in every game, right?
Yeah,
100%. Any game that has power scaling in some way.
I'm pretty sure you can find one for like Nier Automata, even though I think that's like one of the most games you don't really need that kind of shit for. But I'm pretty sure there is.
I'm sure it exists. You're probably right.
I don't know. I just feel like the whole min max thing, it's okay in certain games. I just don't want to do it every game.
Bro, just play the game. Just play the game.
Wow. I blame elitist jerks, like you said, for this.
Definitely. They are to blame.
And then Destiny, I feel like once Destiny came out, it kind of exacerbated and
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, with the guns, yeah, definitely.
But I even say when I was playing Mass Effect 3, me and DJ were like min-maxing those characters. As far as the multiplayer, it had a meta, and like we were in that. We were like heavy into that meta, bro. I wish you could have played. I wish I knew you back then because we would have been playing the fuck out of that game, bro. Oh my god, yeah. Me and DJ, when I'm talking about Justin, hours, like weekends on Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. That's it. And we had like every character maxed. And
EA are a bunch of cowards, man. They didn't put it in the remake, in the Legendary Edition. Like, they're cowards. They didn't want to. Like, why? Why didn't they do it? Because it would have been fun. But oh well. All right, Montrell. I think we've rambled on long enough about this.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts trailer, gotcha games, my own mental issues that clearly exist, and all these people who are excited about a mobile game. Like, all of you, please go get help. I implore you. It's not that exciting, bro. Like, it really is not that exciting, you know?
Well, oh my god. It's a thing that doesn't get talked about enough. I think there should be some kind of like gotcha anonymous or something like that. I think for people, because some people I'm pretty sure have spent their life savings on like Genshin and shit like that. Oh, those whales are out there.
Absolutely. You know? Oh yeah, those horror stories are out there if you want to see them.
So
every gotcha game's got them. The the one where I max my credit card and can't pay it back to get my C6 fucking Zhongli or whatever. So, all right, Macho. Well, let's get the fuck out of here.
All right.
We've been going long enough. All right, everybody. If you like this episode, please like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please share with your friends. If you'd like to interact with us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That is the number 4, not the word. I'm at Thundernut01, and the show is at The Player's Take. If you'd like to send us a question, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And that is going to be it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next week. Bye.